to look to the horizon, not the cloud. I've been storming where the scope too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around. You was not quite what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see, the money's the best for rise. You're done there. By the time you see you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, your unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, the tragedy of a deal, of a partnership, of a relationship that ended before it started. Will that be 2018 for Phil? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not starting well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the follow-up to our previous video. Thank you yet again for, what was that, to the Jackal's Lair, as well as others who helped us break that story or who have followed up with us afterwards. Thanks to all of you who have left comments on the video. You should see that hopefully throughout the video. And let's talk about his situation. Just a quick recap. Phil's past has come back to catch up to him. It's come back to haunt him. He reaped what he sowed. You treated people like shit, and you got called out for it. Now, there are mixed feelings about the person who actually did it and about the situation itself. From what I've seen, as it pertains to what I've seen on my channel, some of the people that I've watched and I've looked at and I've participated in conversations with on Twitter, it's almost overwhelming that people are like, hey, he did the right thing by, contacting Opseat and letting them know about who they were getting in bed with. Now, with that being said, that does not mean there are not a few people who look at that situation and was like, well, what did he have to gain by going to Phil's sponsorship? Or I can understand why he did it. It's just for some reason, it doesn't sit right with me. I myself understand that. When I don't want to try to minimize the actual situation. We're trying to look at this, or well, the way I'm going to look at it is I'm looking at it as a business. And with that in business, you're going to have to cut ties. Now, one thing that was pointed out by Phil himself is that it was illegal for them to break contract with him, even though he had already set up his promotion and things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you, I'm sure, or at least some of you, have had some type of experience with a contract, whether through your employment or anything or everything of the sort. Excuse me. So with that being said, any business that's worth its salt is going to have a clause in its contract saying that at any time we can terminate the actual contract or the agreement itself without prejudice. I'm not saying that's going to be worded that way, but it can happen. Guess what, Phil? It was in your machinima contract, hence the reason why they dropped you the way they did. Almost all contracts have those type of clauses because of situations like this or situations that turned out to be worse. For example, let me paint the scenario to you actually on how Phil actually gained the sponsorship. I'm currently recording this on Wednesday. Today's the 24th, I believe. Oh yeah, it's the 24th because the 9 p.m. release of Dragon Ball FighterZ is tomorrow on the 25th, especially if you pre-ordered. Okay, so he was holding his stream last Saturday. From what he says and what most people say, it was actually a rather positive atmosphere. I don't know if that has anything to do with some of his whales coming up missing, one of them being permanent banned. I don't know, but it was essentially, I guess, it was a rather joyous occasion. I'm not sure if it was entertaining. I can't corroborate that. From what I saw, it seemed uneventful. But what are you gonna do? They got some laughs out of it. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters. With that being said, someone came into Phil's chat or direct messaged him on Twitch and must have listened in on Phil complaining about how his gaming chair is just really bad and, it's really old and he didn't have a lot of money when he bought it, boo-hoo, and it was hurting his back, so on and so forth. Someone in I'm sure the sponsor, Opseat, heard this and reached out to him being like, hey, we heard about your problem. Would you like to get into a sponsor deal with us? to advertise for us in our products. And in turn, we'll send you a demo. We'll send you a chair. Basically, you just got to put it together. Which I agree with all of you. That would have been entertaining to watch him put that together. That would have been funny. That would have been a very good situation. Shame that we didn't get to see that. With that being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, apparently they came to an agreement. The paperwork was sent over. They gave him his instructions on how he was supposed to present himself and present their product moving forward. And on Monday, he made his unveiling, going ahead and presenting himself as the new sponsor, as a sponsor and a new spokesman, because that's essentially what he is, or what he was anyway, of the new Opseat, and so on and so forth. And he was supposed to basically talk them up. You understand what the deal is. Now, someone on Twitter ended up seeing this. I think Phil put his original tweet out somewhere in between 12:30 and 2 o'clock, something along those lines, because it was right before he went on his first break for the day. Apparently, someone on Twitter saw this, decided to reach out to Opseat in particular, and basically was like, "Hey, this is what you're getting in bed with," and ended it with a line that I like the line that he used at the end, where he said, "I would rather buy nails from Judas Iscariot." Now, I have a small thing about that. I might wait and save that for the end of the video. Is this what I'm getting ready to say, or what I'm thinking? Is that what he meant? No. But actually, I want to wait till the end of the video. I'll do it now. So, and let me finish the story first. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. And they took a look, and the partnership was severed. Now, Phil, and as well as others, say that, oh, well, these guys should have done their research before they even offered the deal to Phil. Phil says he doesn't care, even though he made like a 16 or 17-minute video bashing them for the situation. But universally, it's almost agreed that the representative, the head of marketing should have done their research before presenting Phil with this deal. That's understandable. I think that's very understandable under the circumstances. At the same time, excuse me, we're talking about a bunch of these different companies that are kind of just cruising through people's streams, looking at who's garnering numbers, looking at the actual environment itself on the stream. What is he or she doing? What are they presenting? Try to get a feel for these people. And I have to be perfectly honest with you, from what I've read over the last couple of days, they don't have a lot of time to do that. They may only devote 15, 20, 25 minutes to this, of watching a stream. Some of them don't even waste that long. Most of them might only wait like 15, 20 minutes and whatnot. Give you a chance to actually see the person who's actually streaming, see what the chat looks like, and see what they're presenting. And you have to kind of make a decision, hey, would you guys be interested in doing that or not? Now, here's something that's going to be surprising to some of you ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that people have turned down sponsorships like that quite a bit. There are quite a few streamers out there who get these type of offers and just turn it down. I'm not saying specifically from the company in question. I'm just talking about in general. You know what I mean? They kind of pick and choose. And the reason why is, as Phil had said, when it comes to streaming and sponsorships, it's kind of a dime a dozen, so to speak. Now, granted, you should probably talk to someone who actually streams more. Almighty Tevin, for example. There's a couple people that actually stream rather heavily, and I'm sure they could tell you in better detail. But you have some options. You have some choices. Now, in my own personal opinion, should you turn down a sponsorship? If you don't believe in the product, then yes, and whatnot. I'm not saying you need to own the product previous to you being offered the sponsorship, but you have to believe in what the product is, because that's the only way you're going to come across. You're going to come across sincere when you're pushing that product, when you're shilling, whatever you want to call it. So, excuse me, that's kind of like my only cause and effect. Now, the thing is this company asked him to start promoting them before he even had the chair. Now, that in itself is I'm not sure if anybody ever pointed that out, but I find that to be a bit of a problem. Shouldn't you let the actual person you're sponsoring actually have the item in hand, have them assemble it, have them test it out for a couple days first before you do this? Because what happens if Phil got the chair and by God's good graces, after a couple of days, he finally figures out how to put the damn thing together, but he doesn't like it? Maybe he doesn't like the feel. He doesn't like the texture. Maybe it's not giving him the right support. So now he's kind of stuck in this deal with this product that he doesn't really like. Give you another example, actually, of someone who made a major mess up is Puff Daddy back in the day. He, what was that? Proactive, the face cleanser. He used to promote them for a little while. He was actually one of the more shorter celebrities who was actually supporting this product. The reason why is because he had an allergic reaction. The damn thing made him break out. There's pictures online if you want to take a look. And so he didn't bash the product. He just said, he's like, I think it's a good product. You know, my kids use it, so on and so forth, but I couldn't because I had an allergic reaction to it. And the reason why is because Puffy's a businessman. He may have dolphin teeth, but he's a businessman. Oh, Flipper. I'm sorry. My bad. Oh boy. P. Diddy. Bad boy. Can't stop, won't stop. Anyway, but he understands the concept as it pertains to business. You know what I'm saying? Bashing a company just because it doesn't work for you is one thing, but he could still do business with them somewhere down the line. You know what I mean? And this is kind of where we get to with Phil. This situation ended badly, okay? Call it what you want. It wasn't a group of trolls. It wasn't an army of trolls. It wasn't a platoon or a legion of trolls. It was one guy who expressed his concern about a situation. Okay? What you think of his particular actions, I can understand kind of both sides of the spectrum. But he did what he did, and in turn, as one of you guys recommended as an alternate title, I told you I would use that, and I will. OPC's dodged the bullet. And they did. They really did. And to prove that, ladies and gentlemen, it's by how Phil acted afterwards. That right there is a shining example. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present you Snort Burnell's greatness as well as Mr. Stuff's. Originally, I was just going to do Mr. Stuff's because I was expecting to do this follow-up video sooner. And life came about. So we'll just do it both. It'll be a nice little endure type, not really endure. It's just the usual format. It's going to be a long video, but hopefully it's entertaining. And we're going to go through it. Phil, despite how this company treated you by dropping the sponsorship, Phil, if you had handled it better, if you were more admirable about the situation, you would have been good. Okay, you lost that sponsorship. You may have still gotten the free chair. Okay, you lost the sponsorship and you lost the free chair. You still look good in their eye. You could, in some smidgen of a way, a tad bit, they could have been like, all right, this is what happened. This is why we dropped our sponsorship. But you know what? He handled it well. He didn't go out and bash us. He came to realize that his past misdeeds, which are more like current misdeeds, to be honest with you, came back and bit him in the ass, but he didn't bash us. Just send him a chair and tell him bygones are bygones. Because in truth, ladies and gentlemen, he did kind of fulfill his end of the bargain as it pertains to the advertisement by going ahead, announcing it, and putting it on his pre-streams or whatever. In truth, he did come through with that. Does he deserve to be compensated? I don't see why. I would have sent him a chair just to keep him quiet. You know what I mean? Just in an act of good faith. Just send him a chair. They were already doing it anyway. He was already in the processing aspect of his sponsorship deal. So just send him the chair and that's it. You just don't have to cut him a check. Enough said. You know what I'm saying? There you go. I would have done that. But the way Phil decided to go on his little situation, treating them like he treated the ex-girlfriend, like his ex-friends, like treating him like anybody and everybody who's ever been in bed with him. Right there is telling. He shits everything he touches. Everything. Everything. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to go over. Thank you for my little exposition. Not sure if you thought it was funny or not, but let's go ahead and get into the videos. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil's never going to learn. He's just not. He's too sensitive. As it pertains to the concept of business, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But you can turn a loss into a win later on down the line if you have a bit more composure and if you had some forethought. Okay? You know what I mean? That's like me sitting here having a disagreement with another YouTuber or something on Twitter or whatever. Okay? Instead of, it could be, I haven't, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there as an example. But let's say I had a disagreement with somebody. There's no need to be an asshole about the situation. Hey, you felt how you felt. I felt how I felt. hopefully that, you know what I'm saying, because I'll talk to anybody who has some common sense. We can sit there and we can talk it out, and it can be worked out. And then that's it. No bullshit, no cheap shots. I don't got time for that. You don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? And then somewhere down the line, maybe I get invited to an interview. Maybe you guys hold a podcast or something. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Something that could be can be arranged down the line. And that's how you have to look at life in general when it comes to people. But Phil never learned that lesson. You bet if you wrong Phil, fuck you, and fuck you forever. And that's it. And he wonders why he doesn't get anywhere. He wonders why people in his comment section keep coming to him and being like, hey, Phil, man, look at all these other smaller streamers who are getting all the sponsorship deals and you're not getting any sponsorship deals. What's going on, Phil? Why is this? Why is that? He can't get a sponsorship deal because he's toxic. He's a toxic individual. And it is what it is. Now, let's jump to OP for a second. Could they have done a little bit more research? Like I said earlier, they were just cruising around. They were just cruising the streams, seeing who looks profitable, who looks like they might be a nice fit. You think Phil was the only person that they may have approached, you know what I mean, that night or that evening or that day? No, he was one of many. At least 15 people I could think of were approached. He's one of many. That's why it's no hair off their ass when they fucking dropped him. It is what it was. You know what I mean? We thought you were going to be a good fit. We found out this. We dropped you. Now, granted, am I condoning that in particular? They could have contacted him directly before they publicly kind of did that on Twitter. Because you got to think, Twitter is a public domain. They could have contacted him directly first and then, that situation. That might have worked out a little bit better. Shoot him an email or something. But it is, it is what it is, and they don't want to get any backlash. That's understandable. Now, from a Phil standpoint, let's get into the video because I've talked too much already. And I'm going to talk a whole lot longer in a little bit in a minute. If you're a Phil fan, I saw some tweets where one guy, for example, he was highly upset where he got blocked, actually. One guy got blocked by OP seating. I don't know, we don't know what he said, but he must have obviously tried to defend Phil and they just blocked his ass for that. Somebody else said something to OP along the lines of, hey, I was about to buy 2 chairs. I was in the ordering process of doing so. Don't you think this is a bit unfair to go ahead and drop someone on the premise of hearsay? Couldn't you have contacted Phil first and worked things out? That sounds pretty reasonable, but it's business and public image kind of comes into play. I'm not saying that we should all condone it. I'm saying that I understand what they did. So yet again, opening up a sense of dialogue. Let me know what you guys kind of continue thinking. But let's get into the video. Let's try to make this entertaining, if I can. I'm not sure if I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to try. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. You guys know the slogan. Now watch me work. We're here with Snort, Burnell, DSP Gaming. Losing sponsorship in less than a day. I'm telling you, Phil, the year's just starting, boy. I got to tell you. It's going to be a hot summer. Let's go. Excuse me.
What the fuck?
Holy shit. That is an epic fucking intro, dude. Sound good?
Sounds great.
The first piece of good news for you, ladies and gentlemen, well, I guess it's for all of us, is that I have obtained a new sponsorship. Yes, ladies and gents, I can't even tell you how it came about because it's a funny story, all right? So, the other day, Saturday, I was live streaming, and in a rare occurrence, I was actually live streaming something on my PC, as you guys know. Typically, I don't do PC stuff, maybe once a month. Remember, I did a holiday gaming marathon last month where I did a bunch of stuff on PC.
Yeah, he's got 2 high-end PCs. One he doesn't know how to work, and the other one was a lemon. What you gonna do? Nothing he could do, actually. Nothing he could do.
And it just so happened that on Saturday, I decided to take a couple hours out of my streaming to check out the viral sensation, the meme production studio, VR Chat, okay? Free game on Steam. For those who have VR headsets like Oculus Rift or HTC Vive, people have been going nuts for this freaking game, Basically the biggest copyright infringing game you've ever seen in your entire life. Various different, intellectual properties being used against the provisions of those who own them. It was pretty out of control, alright? So here I am, and I'm doing this stream of VR Chat, which, first of all, by the way, if you want to see any of the videos of that, you gotta check them out. They're live on DSP Gaming right now. People went absolutely nuts for them, okay? So that said. As I was doing it, I was like, man, my back hurts. Like, damn, I really hate that, you know, when I have to play stuff on PC, my friggin' back, you know, always hurts because my gaming chair is a piece of shit. Because it's not a gaming chair. It's basically just an office.
No, your back hurts because, one, you're out of shape. Two, that love seat is horrible for your posture. And three, yeah, it could be the chair, but then you very rarely use it. So obviously you're not accustomed to it. Just use one of those plush pillows that you have that Panda bought you. Use one of those to support your back or something. I mean, he has really terrible posture all around, so it kind of is what it is. But I mean, shit, if you're gonna have a pony with a rainbow on it, you might as well use it on your back. There might be some comfort to it. I'm just saying, there's no metaphor to that. I'm just saying.
This chair that I bought years and years ago. I believe it was actually late 2014 or early 2015, because I had my old chair back from Connecticut, and that thing was worn the hell out. That thing I'd owned for the greater part of like 7 years. And so I wanted a new chair, and I ordered a new chair, but it was like on extreme discount because I didn't have a lot of money. And I've used it now, you know, from then till now. So,
you know what he should have done? He should have gone to Maximilian Dude and asked him for his discount code and ordered him one of those chairs. Max has like 3 of those things. Matter of fact, Max is probably such a nice guy that Max probably would have sent him one of his spare chairs. I could see Max doing that. I could see Max trying to help him out. I really do. I know you guys might think I'm joking, but I'm dead ass serious. I bet you Maximilian Dude would have done that. He signs it for him too. He autographs it. Unlike those empty game, unlike those empty game cases that was being sent out. Oh boy, no shots fired there.
You're talking 3 straight years, and the thing is a piece of garbage. It's falling apart. The armrests are cracking and flaking and coming apart. There's not a lot of support at all in this chair. The hydraulic, you know how you can raise the height of the chair? Doesn't even work, right? Sometimes it just caves in when I'm sitting on it. Basically, the chair's
it just caves in when I sit on it. Oh, that could be the implication that you might be too heavy, but whatever. It is what it is.
Broken piece of crap. All right, but I don't have any money, so I don't have any money to buy a new chair or anything. So as I was doing this stream, I got thousands of views. Like, I got over 1,000 viewers on this stream, and it just so happens that a company that manufactures gaming chairs came into the stream and heard me say, man, my chair friggin' sucks. I wish I had a good chair. And they contacted me and said, Phil, you know, we see you got a good streaming presence. What? And, you know, we heard that you need a new chair. What we'd like to do is offer you a sponsorship with us. You know, what you do is sign up for our affiliates program. And if you're approved, we will get you a demo product out where you can basically get a free chair. You could use it.
Now, with that being said, I'm anxious to, if any of you guys know, I want to know what some of the criterias are for you to be approved. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, does he have to put in a certain amount of hours streaming? Does he, you know, he's not a felon or nothing like that. Like, so was this like is this like a streaming background check? Like, you know, like what kind of criteria does he need to fit? Hey, you stream on here, you know, do you have the information to where we could pay you essentially, I would guess. And outside of a name, a mailing address, and maybe some, and obviously whatever documentation he'll need to sign and send back, that should be it. I would think there wouldn't be anything else. But you know, Phil, he likes to make himself sound more important, so it is what it is.
You know, for your streaming and stuff. And, you know, all we ask of you is that obviously, you know, you do a little bit of promotion for us. We'll give you a discount code to give your viewers. So if your viewers want to buy a chair from us, they save some money. And, you know, it'll be pretty cool. Basically, you know,
I get a free chair out of it. You guys, you know, can get to know about the chair because I'm going to do a video on it once I build it and start using it. I'll let you know how it is. Karma.
And, you know, a little bit of a discount as well if you guys want to buy a chair, okay? So it's pretty sweet. It's very similar to, you know, some other sponsorships I've had over the years. Remember, guys, I used to have like a Loot Crate sponsorship. It was kind of the same thing. Every month I would unbox a Loot Crate and you could get a discount if you wanted to get your own. Same thing here. So it's really cool that they offered me that. So as you can see now here on the pre-stream, I've got a new title card for it. If you're interested, if you want to check out their chairs, all right, go below the stream, all right, below my stream here on Twitch right now, there's a new panel. I added this to my Twitch dashboard, and you can click right on that panel, and it takes you right to the Opseat website, and you can check out, they have 2 models of chair. One's called the Master Series, and one called the Grandmaster. I believe one's more like a standard chair, and the Grandmaster is the more heavy-duty chair. I guess a little bit more of a different look to it, and it's a little bit more heavier, you know, bigger chair. And give it a look. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you choose...
Yeah, Phil's gonna probably need that bigger chair, especially when the new maid gets there. Because good God, I'm telling you, if it's real, he's gonna put on massive weight. I guarantee it. He's gonna put on weight. If she's really gonna, feed him 3 times a day and do all that stuff, he's gonna put on massive weight. The gout's gonna come back. Not that the gout ever left, but it's definitely gonna come back.
Used to say, oh, I'd like to maybe get one of these chairs for myself. Use the new discount code DarksidePhil at checkout, all right, and save yourself $15. That's right, $15 off any chair at OPC using the discount code DarksidePhil. So again, check it out. It's below the stream. You can click on it. There's a panel on my Twitch board here, with all the rules and everything. Or if you're watching this video on YouTube, because I am aware that some people do watch my pre-streams on YouTube, I'm going to have a new affiliates link in the description of the video. So it's going to be the first link you see in the description of this video will be a link. You click on it, it'll bring you to OPC, and then use the discount code DarksidePhil to save $15.
And of course people watch your pre-streams. Your pre-streams are probably more entertaining than the walkthroughs, to be honest. Way more entertaining. There's always something to talk about.
Okay.
Sound good? So that's pretty cool of them, I told you guys that my streams are getting more popular.
You don't say.
If I'm getting sponsors coming in to check out my streams, it's pretty obvious that my streams are getting more popular.
That's for just about anybody, though, who has pretty good numbers. You're not special. The thing is, though, is it's not going to happen like that anymore. But we'll talk about that later.
And things are on the up and up here on Twitch, so I'm really excited. I'm happy for this sponsorship. By the way, any chairs that you buy using my affiliate link, meaning clicking on that thing on the dashboard, using the affiliate link I put in the description of my videos on YouTube, I get a little bit of cut as well. So you're getting a cool chair, you're saving $15, and I get a little bit of a promotional, cut from it as well. So it all works hand in hand. Pretty cool, right?
I have popularity.
You say so.
He was the guy that got caught masturbating in front of children.
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him? Is he the one that got caught, Matt?
Yes! That's right, I'm a huge pervert, guys. That's all I do. I just masturbate constantly in front of children.
But
on purpose. I got completely exposed. Yeah, I'm the guy.
It is official. My girlfriend is moving in with me next month, in the month of February.
Oh,
in fact, ladies and gentlemen, it is
boy.
exactly 3 weeks from today she's arriving. 3 weeks from today. So not next Monday, not the Monday after, but 3 Mondays from now. She's arriving here in Washington for good.
Now, listen to that. Well, here, I'll play it back, but she's arriving into Washington for good. He's making it sound like it's the end of this girl's life. And in a lot of ways, to be honest with you, it kind of is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to really think about this. This is really bad. You know what I mean? You can hear him salivating at it. Like, he can't wait to put her on stream. But more importantly than that, he can't wait to put her to work. And that's even worse, man. That's even worse. And then if she's like... this is going to be a hard one. This is going to be a real hard one. Now, granted, we'll probably do a video where I'll make like a topic video or something where we'll talk about this. But like, is it possible that this is a scam? Is it possible that... What is her... Okay, let's scratch that scam part. What is her agenda? Like seriously, I want us to take a minute to really think about this for a minute. What is it that she's really getting out of this? What is it that what's her end game? You know what I mean? You're coming all the way across the United States, if not even further than that, to take care of this guy. What's your payoff exactly? Like, this isn't missionary work in some third world country. Like, what is this exactly? Like, what is the payoff for this? You know what I mean? And I've heard some interesting theories where people are like, yo, she's going to scam him out of money. She's going to do this, that, and the third. It's all a, it's a honey pot. He's about to get honey dick. You know what I mean? It could be a bunch of things. But really, what is her motivation to do this? You know what I mean? She's not going to be at her current residence because she has to move for whatever reason. Is that being homeless? Supposedly she's supposed to be having a bunch of her items to be shipped over there. I mean, so obviously she has possessions. Obviously she has a job, so she has means. But why give all that up, so to speak, to move in with this guy and take care of him. It's not even moving in with him. You're taking care of him. You're a living maid. Like, why do that? Anyway, let's do a quick rewind.
Die.
It is official. My girlfriend is moving in with me next month, in the month of February. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, it is in exactly 3 weeks from today she's arriving. 3 weeks from today. So not next Monday, not the Monday after, but 3 Mondays from now. She's arriving here in Washington for good. She's moving in with me, all right? Now, what does this mean? It's actually going to be February 12th, okay? What does this mean? It means that I'm going to be taking a few days away from live streaming, obviously, in order to pick her up, get her settled in. We got a lot of stuff that we got to do in these first initial days when she's here to get her settled in and get everything going.
Now, wait a second. You can take a few days, you can take almost a week off to move this chick in. He had taken a couple of months where he was taking, 4 or 5 days off for a vacation to spend time with this girl. But when Leanna lived with you, you were bitching about taking a weekend off? And one of those days you were going to take off anyway? So all you got to do is take an extra day off and you refuse to do it because you had to work? What? Like, does that not seem off or wrong to anybody? I'm just saying, it's amazing how he's willing to make all these sacrifices now, but Leanna had a job. You know what I mean? She was cooking and cleaning and doing God knows what else. So what makes this one more special than her? Seems a bit unfair, right? I don't know. I might be reading into that. Let's continue.
Oh my God, excuse me.
Phew, man. That was a big one. That took it out of me. So, including some things we gotta do for her. Gotta get her a new cell phone for here. Gotta get her a driver's license. Get her insured on the car. Gotta get her used to driving around.
Wait a second. She needs a new cell phone for here? Does she not have a cell phone? I'm sure she can get coverage wherever. Where does this woman live?
Down here and let her see all the local areas so she knows how to get to and from these different areas. It's funny because she actually drives a ton. Right now, currently, for her to go to work and back, she drives upwards of 45 minutes each way, if not an hour. So she's like a commuter. She's used to commuting back and forth. Versus me, I barely drive, Everything out here is so close to me. So she is like a better driver than me.
So wait a second. So now, so she's your gopher and chauffeur. Basically, that's what you're saying. Jesus Christ, this is terrible. This is so terrible. And when you think about it, the escort situation was just a bit of a reprieve. It was a bit of light humor, so to speak, to lead up to the sad and in truth harsh reality, which is about to be this. I want you guys to really think about that for a minute. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there wasn't casualties and there wasn't victims in that escort situation. There were. But at the same time, we kind of took it all as trolling. We took it for, we took it for the lulz. You know what I'm saying? It was all about, we got a lot of laughs out of it. It was funny. But now the harsh reality sets in, not just the aftermath or the fallout from the escort saga, but now you have this. The girlfriend saga is going to be worse, I think. It's going to be, this is definitely not going to end well. This definitely doesn't sound like it's starting off well, let alone it's going to end well. 2018 is going to be rough for him. But we'll be here to report on it. Jesus.
That's why people are like,
DSP News.
You're going to let her drive your car? Yeah, she's a better driver than me.
Read, lol.
So then not only are you doing that, she has to go do some shopping for clothes for her new job out here. And we got to clean out the office across the hallway because the office is, still full of shit. We got to throw out
Wait a second, what do you mean she needs to do that? You should be doing that. Why is she doing that? You're going to make her clean up her new workspace? Wait a second, think about that for a minute. You're going to have her clean out the last woman's stuff before she goes ahead and before she can go in there and use it. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that almost everything in there is hand-me-downs for the most part. Meaning her desk, Leanna's desk, the shelves, all that stuff, the chair, there's another chair in there too, I think. All that stuff is hand-me-downs. How is she going to feel that when she gets there and she goes upstairs and she has to clean another woman's stuff. She's cleaning. How does she feel that she is cleaning up after the woman that she replaced? Like, I mean, I'm being serious. Isn't that a bit insensitive on Phil's part, or is his hoof game on lock? You know what I'm saying? Does the hand of gout, is it really stronger than everything else? That's so crazy. You don't even have. He doesn't even have the sense of decency to clean all of Leanna's stuff out himself, so the new girlfriend can walk in with a clean slate. Instead, you're going to see what the previous prisoner left behind. Like, that's the marking on the walls. You know, give up hope to all these who enter through here, essentially. You don't even have the decency to wipe that off the walls, my dude. And you're just going to let her walk into that and then clean it up. Yo. Maybe I'm reading into that too much, but Jesus Christ. I'm trying to get my autism under control. Jesus.
Whole bunch of shit and get the office set up because her stuff will be arriving. She's going to actually be shipping some of her stuff across, a pretty big distance. And when it arrives, we need to have the office all empty and ready for her to have her PC and her gaming stuff all set up in there.
So we got a lot of work to do.
So all that being said, starting on the 12th of February, I will not be live streaming. It's going to be the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. 4 straight days, I will not be live streaming.
Everyone's lazy. Like me, right? Tomorrow, Tuesday, I am beginning my Super Mario Sunshine playthrough. That's terrible. That's such a terrible thing. Shout outs! Papa Lou, to the 25-bit chair. If I could get down on my hands and knees and say thank you and still be on camera, I would do it. Okay? I seriously would do it. I wanted to bring your attention to some mods who keep deleting my messages out of jealousy for what we have. I love you, Daddy Phil. Keep up.
That shit is funny. Because apparently whoever this is has been showing up quite a few times lately. Especially since the whole escort situation kind of fell out. That shit is hilarious. Like, I don't know who it is, but they're dedicated. And I applaud you, sir or ma'am, for that. I applaud you.
It's a great word. Papa Lou, you have to understand that if you're a creeper, the mods have it at their own discretion whether or not they feel that you're being too creepy for other stream chatters. Therefore, if you are a creeper in the stream chat and they censor what you're saying, it's your own fault. Try being normal. Try not being creepy, and maybe, just maybe, you won't be censored. You know what I say? Toxic toilet juice. People seeing me on Twitch, having a good audience, and liking what I do, and saying, man, we'd like Phil to maybe, sponsor our product, offering it to me, and then all of a sudden, because of the actions of trolls, who, number one, I have no control over, and number two, constantly slander me and make shit up. As we know, everyone out there who's ever attacked me or said something negative about me is 100% true, and it's all just completely legitimate stuff, and it's because these people are such creative and positive people that they put this stuff onto YouTube, right? The sponsor...
I mean, you're the one who put it on YouTube first, though. All we do is break it... all we do, is just break it down, and all we do is just break it down. We're the ones who have to kind of, shift through the bullshit to actually, bring out the actual useful nuggets. That was a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean.
The ship is now gone. Oh my god!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa! Don't look, okay? Sadly, I had to say it. I do see the perspective of any company that may want to sponsor me and then see something like that and say, well, maybe we wouldn't want to be involved in that. However, this entire situation is incredibly unprofessional, and I want to clear the air. Back on Saturday, I was doing a stream on Twitch. It was me trying out the VR chat game, which is now a viral thing. It's got memes all over the internet with Ugandan knuckles and everything like that. As I was playing this game, tons of viewers came in. I had over 1,000 viewers at one point coming in to watch me try out this VR chat. As I was doing it, apparently, someone who either was a representative or someone who works for Opseat, a company that makes gaming chairs, okay, came in to my stream, watched me, saw, wow, here's a guy, he's being positive, he's got a good viewership right now, this is someone who maybe we could get to sponsor.
What's this whole thing about being positive, too? How about we just call it being normal? How about we just acting like a decent human being? What's this whole positive bullshit? I'm starting to get tired of that. That's just starting to get annoying. And when you say that, it makes people, at least it makes me anyway, it makes me think that you're faking it, which is obviously what you're doing. So how about you reword that in the future, Phil? Just saying.
Sponsor, to help sell our products. And I received an email after that stream ended stating, hey, Phil, I'm a representative from OPC, and we saw your stream, and we actually saw you mention during the stream that your current computer chair sucks and it hurts your back. What we'd like to do is have you as a sponsor. What we're going to do is offer you a free chair, all right, in promotion of our product. So what you'll do, you'll get a free chair, you promote our product. What we're going to do is give you an affiliate link, a discount code. So if people click on this link and use the discount code to buy a chair, they'll save some money, and you'll get a cut of the profits of sales off of these chairs. All we ask in return is that you promote the chair, and you take a picture when you get the chair to help us promote it on social media. Sounds good to me, right?
It's not about the money. It's not.
And, this just happened. I didn't ask for it. As you guys know, I'm not a major PC gamer.
That's another thing, too, that people keep pointing out. And one of you guys pointed out in the comment section. He doesn't need to just shave his head. Like, seriously. Like, every time you mess with your hair like that, Phil, you're probably slowly but surely pulling it out. Almighty Tevin has pointed this out before, for example. Just shave your head, man, and just reset. I mean, you're losing... Your hairline is slowly but surely... It's slowly but surely falling back anyway. I'll have pictures in the video to kind of prove what I'm saying, or to at least substantiate what I'm saying. But just shave your head, man. Just go back to your skinhead days. Just do that.
I'm not.
Or your buzz cut days, maybe. Maybe not skinhead, but buzz cut.
Maybe once a month do I do anything on PC that entails me sitting down and playing a PC game or something like that. Usually it's a marathon as a celebratory goal for, like, raising a certain amount of funds or whatever on Patreon or whatever. So for me, and by the way,
And the thing is, though, too, one more thing is, I think him messing with his hair, you guys have seen the video, so you guys know what I'm talking about. I think that's him almost, like, subconsciously trying to hold on to the fact that he's losing it, if you think about it. Because, especially over the last couple months or so, especially, I would even say as far as since Leanna's left, he does it more and more frequently. And I feel like it's like a coping mechanism for him. I might be reading into that, but that's what it feels like. It feels like it feels like it's a coping mechanism for him in some way. It's strange. He keeps blaming it on the fact of his headset, but then again, that's why he has that bald spot. So there you go.
Like I said, I just got off stream. My hair's all screwed up. I'm trying to fix it. It's not going to work. For me, I'm like, wow, this is cool. An opportunity just presents itself, puts itself in my lap. Wow, this is really messed up. I need a gaming chair, right? Because my chair's falling apart. Literally, my office chair right now is falling apart. And it hurts when I sit in it, because if I sit in it for more than, say, half an hour, there's no lumbar support. The armrests are cracking and falling apart. I've had this chair for over 3 years. It's basically a piece of crap at this point. Free chair sounds good to me. Promotion, I've done it before. As you guys know, I've had other partnerships in the past with Loot Crate and the like. Never had a problem with any of that. And I said, why not? Why not? I'm going to get a free chair. I'll easily promote it, take pictures of it.
And in truth, as Snort Burnell says, what good came out of that? Yeah, he might have gotten a little bit of buzz in the beginning, as most people do. But then he fizzled out. He couldn't bring any real new people in. Like the hardcore fan base, so to speak, the few whales that he had, they went ahead and did it. They probably did it for 3 months or 6 months even, like with Loot Crate, for example. But then Loot Crate has diminished over time anyway. Like when Loot Crate first started, for example, they had some really cool stuff. I mean, you open up a box, you have like 15 or 20 things in it. You know what I mean? I remember when, like that was a long time ago, but I remember when Loot Crate first started, I'm not sure if some of you guys remember this, but like, you used to get like, they guaranteed you one shirt, but I have a couple of like those early Loot Crates where I had like 3 of them in there. You know what I mean? All the same size, whatever size that I asked for, but they had like 3 different shirts in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Used to get like stickers, used to get cards, used to get DVDs. You could get all kinds of crazy stuff in there. Now, when you get one, because a friend of mine still does Loot Crate. I don't know why, but he does. He does Loot Crate, and it just, I'm not going to bash Loot Crate because it just seemed disappointing. You know what I mean? It just seemed disappointing. I'll just say that. It wasn't what it used to be. And granted, that's what happens with time. You know, that's what happens as the price of things go up. You know, that's, you know, it's just how business goes, I guess. But wow. Yeah, Loot Crate definitely isn't the same anymore. But anyway, you can say that for any sponsorship. But back to the main point, he's messed all those sponsorships up. he didn't actually screw them up as in he said something bad that they just dropped him. It's just he's not profitable because Phil himself is not really that marketable. You know what I mean? He doesn't make himself marketable. Look, when he goes on, like when he goes on his pre-streams, he goes in unshaven. You know what I mean? He looks like a broke hedgehog. You know what I mean? He doesn't. I don't want to use bear because one of you guys called me out on the last video saying, "Hey, I take that offense to that bear comment." So my bad. He's like a. Looks like I don't know. He looks like just looks like a broke hedgehog. You know what I mean? Like you're on camera all day, essentially. You can't look the part. You know, try to present yourself better. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It all starts with you. You know what I mean? And for someone who spent 10 years in front of a camera, he hasn't figured that out yet. It's just, it's sad. It's just real sad.
If anyone buys it, I get a few extra bucks. Even if no one ever buys a chair from it, it still sounds like a good idea for free promotion. I get a free chair.
Why would you say that if no one ever buys a chair? So you're saying you're basically telling them, oh, it might not be good enough to purchase. You know what I mean? But hey, I get a free chair out of it, so no big deal. Why would you say something like that? See, that's what I'm saying. He messed up before he actually started bashing them. But we'll continue. And as we get into the next video, you'll see what I mean. Hopefully.
And I do it. Okay? So, I talked back and forth with this representative for about a day, and basically he said, here's what you gotta do. All we need you to do is add a panel on your Twitch page, which has a link, a picture of our chairs, and a link. And when people click on that panel, it'll take them right to your affiliate page, and then give them this discount code that we're going to create for you. They'll save a certain amount of money on a sale, and you get the money from it. Once that's done, and you sign up for our affiliate, there's a link, I had to sign up for their affiliate program or whatever. We'll, you know, ask for your details of what chair you want, and your address and all of that. Okay, so I signed up and everything, and I just said, okay, you know, starting today, I'm going to start promoting it. And he said, great, we're going to send you the chair. Give us your name, your address, and your preferred color. So all this happened this morning, actually. And I was like, great, all right, today I'm going to start promoting your stuff on my streams, right? Good, we're all good. It's been 2 days now since the initial offer on Saturday. Today's Monday. Everything's good. So today on my pre-stream, I actually did a big segment about it. I posted it up on Twitter. The tweet got lots of views. Keep in mind, I got 25,000 followers on Twitter. You know, got lots of views on Twitter. So apparently, you know, they're getting their promotion, which is what they wanted out of this, right? So then I start my stream. I have a big segment about, you know, almost 5-10 minutes talking about this, promoting their chairs. Okay, now I don't know, I can't attest to the quality of their chairs. I don't have one yet, but I'm announcing this big promotion. You know, it's coming up. Here we go. My new sponsorship from OPC. And so, you know, all this is going on. And I'm like,
wait a second. Did you catch that? He said that he hadn't. He said, I can't attest to the quality of their chairs. I don't have one yet. So did they say when they dropped him from the contract that when they broke their, you know, when they absolved their contract from him, did they say that they would still send him one? And if so, isn't that egg on your face now, Phil? All right, let's go ahead and let him dig his grave.
like, you know, everything's good. You know, nothing bad here happening or anything like that, right? It seems to me like everything is good and nothing's wrong. Everything's fine.
Lol.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
So I started my stream. I'm playing my games today. You know, had a big stream today of catching up on a few games or whatever. And all of a sudden during the stream, I start seeing people in the stream chat start talking about, Phil, are you aware of what's going on right now? Phil. Now the thing is, when I'm streaming, I can't be derailed. I'm playing a game. I can just stop everything I'm doing on stream to be derailed and start talking about this other subject. But what I see is people in the stream chat start talking about...
Other people do. They don't call it derailment, though. They don't call it being derailed. It's called interacting. There's a difference.
Is Phil aware that basically his sponsorship's over already? That the trolls have contacted OPC via social media and told them that he's a horrible person and went to do a bunch of slanderous stuff on the internet, and they've responded saying they're going to cancel the sponsorship.
Like I said, I feel like they should have contacted him directly. I'm sorry. They should have contacted. Oh my God. This is going to be a sense of irony in me and saying this. They should have given him enough respect to where they should have contacted him first by email probably, or at least tweeted at him privately, like slide into his DMs or something, and told him what their decision was. But they might have, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try to keep that. Let's try to keep that glimmer of hope alive, because they may have. He may have just not been paying attention because he was focusing on the game. So there you go.
Of course I didn't know that. I'm streaming a game. I don't know anything about this.
There you go.
You know, they never came to me and said anything about it. I'm not a whiny baby. I'm a mature adult.
Sure.
So, I continued to play the game, alright, and then I went on a break. Usually, typically when I stream, I take a break in the middle of my stream, and then I do about another 2 to 2.5 hours of streaming after the break. So I go on break, and I open my email. Sure enough, here we go, right? So, I'm gonna, just so there's no misconceptions about any of this situation whatsoever, alright? I'm literally gonna read to you, word for word, the email I got from OPC. So there's no one who can accuse of slander or anything like that. I'm gonna read from you word for word.
I'm proud of this. It says, Phil, it's been brought to our attention that you have an extensive history across the Let's Play community, with the best summarization being from Lol Cow.
And then they link to some Lolcow wiki I've never heard of and never been through before. And of course, when you click on it, it's all slanderous, negative, false shit.
I'm good at lying.
Not really.
Phil's a pedophile. Phil's a beggar. Phil's this. Phil's
I'm sorry.
that. All the negative, slanderous shit people have made up about me over the last how many years, right? All summarized on this page. Now, anyone with an intelligent brain knows a website named Lolcow is probably not a serious website. It's probably a website made for malicious slander like this.
Here we go.
That's the point of it, to try to pick apart people and make them look horrible, okay? By the way, I'm not the only person on the website. There's tons of people who this has happened to before in the past. But let me continue on with what the email says. Unfortunately, this history is not something that we want to see when thinking of the OPC brand, and we're saddened by the sight of it. Because of this, we are unable to move forward with your sponsorship. Oops! Guess what, OPC? I hate to tell you guys this, that's not how business works. You don't
Like you're one to talk about how business works. Okay.
offer something, here are the terms, okay, I abide by the terms, and I begin the promotion, and then you renege on your agreement, which I have in email right here form, a contract between you and me. Therefore, OPC violated the terms of their agreement with me already immediately by canceling. Alright, there's no way you can do that. Once you already have...
Like I said, I think there's a clause in their contract where they can do a termination of that contract for any reason that they feel that would be detrimental to the brand, to the business in general. They can do that, Phil. If you ever read your machinima contract, you should have known that. But that's his problem. He never did read those machinima contracts outside of what he was going to make. And that was it. That's why his dumbass was so blindsided when he finally did get dropped by machinima. He really thought that he was going to be invincible. He thought he was going to be okay. He thought that they needed him. And they didn't. And that's why they got rid of your bitch ass. So, you know, well, not bitch ass, but that's the reason why they dropped your ass. What more do you want? Like, all those years and all those contracts, and you never read that there was a termination clause in those contracts. I know there are, because there are other YouTubers who have talked about their contracts with, not just with machinima, but with a bunch of people. God. I said 2018 is going to be rough for you, Phil. It's going to be very, very rough.
have a legal agreement in place, which I have in writing. If you do this, we'll do this. I have it all done. In the middle of the process, I already do my half of the bargain. They renege. It's actually not possible. It's illegal.
Key word is in the middle of that process, which almost any contract can be terminated under those conditions. So there you go on that.
To do that.
And if it's so illegal, take them to court if you can.
Dramatic, drama queen, toxic.
Now, personally, do I really care that much? No, I don't. Because all I was getting out of it was a chair, which I was going to, put together, do a video of, tell you guys what I thought about it, take a picture for them for their social media promotions, and, get a better chair out of it. And then, hey, if anyone ever did actually buy a chair via their affiliate program and I got a few bucks out of it, great.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Sure do.
You guys know I do it, on pre-streams and on my videos on YouTube. I insert those links and if people check them out, that's great. But I'm not someone who is going to sit here and harp on it, or anything like that. The problem here is, ladies and gentlemen, not only the fact that trolls literally just linked to a common trolling website about me full of slander that is factually wrong.
I know you're lying. If you do 5 minutes of research regarding this kind of slander or whatever, you would find out that it's wrong. You'd find out, okay, maybe it's based on a snippet of truth. I guess I'm not that smart.
Here, yet again, this is what I've said over the last couple of videos about this whole snippet of truth. You need to stop saying that. And this is coming from a detractor, or a Padawan detractors, so to speak. But you need to stop doing that. You really need to stop. Because that's why people keep hitting you with that whole pedo situation and whatnot. And you're having a hard time fighting it. You're having a hard time fighting off anything that you would consider smearing when you say there's a snidbit of truth in everything that they say about me. You kind of need to stop talking like that. You just need to stop. Maybe you should just stop talking in general or just deny it outright. We're going to all call you liars anyway. We're all going to call you a liar anyway. So you're better off doing that than what you're doing here. You can't just ride the fence. It doesn't work that way.
Lord, man, I'm stupid.
Yeah, you are.
But what people actually say on a website like the Lolcow website, wiki, or whatever the fuck it is not factually true. All right? There's things that have been massively disproven just by asking me a question and me explaining the situation, but I don't deal with that shit. I'm here to be a positive streamer. I'm here to be here every day, put out fun and entertaining content for you.
I still need your help. I really need the money to keep this house.
Sure do.
I need to raise a lot of money this month.
You sure do.
I'm going to need your guys' help. I really am. I'm going to need your support. I need it.
You need
By
it.
the way, I really desperately need the money to help with my tax situation. So, hint, hint, save the house. Toxic toilet juice.
And that's another thing too. I wonder how long he's going to try to milk that that tax situation. And then somebody sent me a video about he owes like money on the house too now, like on one of the condos. Whew, wow.
Not to deal with all the negative shit that they spent. For a month, I was just accused of having an escort come over here. And, you know, me not paying for an escort. And for a month this went on, only for it finally just recently to be revealed that the whole thing was a catfishing attempt against me. See what I mean? And this shit happens all the time. Most of the shit that you see on the internet, right, is false. Phil's a pedophile. Wrong. Produce evidence. No evidence. But we'll just keep saying it. Phil, you know, stole from his fans. Wrong. Produce evidence that I ever stole anything from everyone. Oh, well, we'll spin this situation over here that wasn't really the case to sound like it was. See what I mean? And this happens all the fucking time. And I'm tired of it. Quite frankly, I'm very tired of it. Because now, here's a situation where I already did my half of the bargain. I already promoted what I was supposed to promote.
Ah, the salty tears.
We know what's going to win. The troll answer wins. The troll answer always wins. Oh, yeah.
And now I'm going to get nothing out of it. I'm not here to take a paycheck.
Because trolls spammed this company, and this company had a knee-jerk reaction instead of doing 2 minutes of research, all right? But now let's really talk about the root cause of the problem. Is it the trolls? Of course, it's them, because they're scumbags. They're obsessed with me. They will do anything they can to hurt me in any way.
Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
And doing this today while I was streaming, and of course I have no power over anything like this, this was their way to get at me. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the whole escort thing just blew up and was revealed to be false, so they're like, man, we really wish we had made Phil look bad with that. Now he kind of looks good because he was telling the truth the whole time. Let's get him with something else, right? So here it comes. Let's get him with something else.
Wait a second. What? I don't recall that. Was there a meeting or something? Did you guys hear anything about a meeting? Kevin? Kenny? No? Yeah, what was that about? Like, I didn't get invited to that meeting. Did any of you guys ladies and gentlemen, did any of you guys be aware of that meeting? I was not told. I did not get my email. I must not be popular enough. But that's sad, actually. But damn, I didn't get my notification for that. Shit. Guess I should have just waited for my membership package to show up. That's a shame. I did not hear that, though. I have not heard any troll, any hater, any detractor say, damn it, Phil got over on us. We'll just have to catch him next time. That's ridiculous. Stop. It's funny, though. It's funny to hear it.
The truth of the matter is here, folks. OPC, before they offer anyone a sponsorship of any kind whatsoever, should actually look into the people they're offering sponsorship.
I agree.
It's not hard to go on YouTube and search for DSP Gaming or Darkside Phil and see tons of slander against me immediately. And if they didn't want to be involved in any of that, they immediately should have said, okay, don't offer him the sponsorship. Not what happened, which is I literally got a positive email from this guy on Saturday.
That positive email, like I said, that whole positive thing, he needs to stop that. It's just annoying. But I do agree that whoever it was that was looking at his stream, head of marketing or whatever that was, they should have watched the stream, take a look at, how the environment was, and then Googled his name real quick. I agree they should have done that. That would have been fair. And then none of this would have happened. And he would just keep sitting in that broken ass chair, complaining.
Stating, here it is. I'm the director of marketing for OPC. We're leading a brand of gaming chairs. I was checking out your Twitch stream today, and I wanted to propose a sponsorship. So here's what we're offering. So,
but in truth, even though they didn't make a major misstep in not researching the person that they were trying to court, is it not still fair to say that, you know, hey, they tried to give him a shot and it kind of just backfired? You know, someone was willing to take a risk on him, and in turn, how he responds next is why things really kind of turn to shit.
Sorry, head of marketing of OPC, you do a bad job.
Stop being a moron.
Oh boy.
Seriously, stop.
Wow.
I'm serious. Stop.
Wow.
You offered me a sponsorship, had me do everything on the end of my end to do everything professionally, and then reneged on it.
You haven't done everything yet, though, because you haven't gotten the chair. And since you haven't had the chair, you haven't put it together, you haven't posted it on social media, and you haven't shilled for it yet. You just put up some promotional tools. You haven't actually shilled for it yet. So theoretically, you've only done half the job. You can't do the rest of it until you get the chair. You said that yourself, Phil. I'm just saying, I don't mean to nitpick, but that's the truth.
Because of trolls attacking me with slander and you believing it, or saying, well, it's too late, you know, after the fact, oh, well, now we don't want that. It's too late. You've already offered the sponsorship. If you want to offer sponsorship, you have to clear that first. You don't, after the fact, find out that shit happened and then renege on your agreements.
Ah, the salty tears.
So, right now, there are two parties at fault. The trolls, who spammed OPC, of course, with negativity about me that's completely untrue, and OPC, the company, and or the marketing department of the company, who, number one, did not do their job and due diligence to make sure that they were offering sponsorship to someone who they felt was in line with their company, and number two, for actually reneging on an agreement after I went through with my half of the bargain. So,
now what happens? I get no chair. I already did free advertisement for these guys, and I look bad because I give them free advertisement, and I get nothing out of it. Of course, the trolls now rejoice because they won in this situation because they attacked on social media. And
oh, for God's sakes, Phil! It's an absolute travesty that you had to do some work for somebody else and there was no payoff for you. Good God, Phil! It's a damn shame. It really is. It's like doing YouTube for free and not getting anything out of it, right? Like your Nintendo playthroughs, right? You're not getting paid off that, even though most of the time you're paid for the game. But since you can't actually monetize those videos, you're just kind of doing it for free. Instead of trying to use that as a promotional tool to garner more viewership. But see, that would be logical thinking. That would be thinking like a businessman. Do I have a business degree? No? Can I get a mail order one like Phil does? Good job. Yeah, when you spell, okay, Kenny, when you spell GTG on it, I want it to be GEETEEGEE. And then LOL. See, Phil? And then I'll have a business bachelor's in science degree for business just like you. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
the company came. So who looks bad? OPC looks terrible because they're a bunch of idiots who don't do their job researching to figure out who they want to give sponsorship to. Why am I toxic? Toxic! And they cave to trolls without any kind of substantiating of anything said about me, you know? And now I'm left basically looking stupid. What a complete idiot.
Because I advertise free advertisement for these guys, and it is what it is, right? So I just wanted to clear the air, folks. No, apparently I don't have a sponsorship with OPC. I don't know, because I wrote them an email during my break, which was now 3 hours ago. I got no response from these guys, so I'm assuming they're never going to respond. And I'm sure they're not going to reverse their decision magically and go back to their sponsorship. They screwed up. They did a horrible job here. They basically have now hurt me, because now, of course, I publicly look bad, because I had a sponsorship that I did earn through a positivity of a fun stream that I did on Saturday, but because they cave to troll.
So wait a second. So because you had a positive stream, whatever the hell that means, you immediately assume that you deserve to be paid for that? Like you assume that compensation should have came your way because you had one decent stream. What? Are you fucking serious? Who's the actual mental midget around here? Dude, first off, you should try to strive to have a decent, I'm not going to say positive stream. You should be striving to have a decent stream every day. You're failing at that miserably, obviously. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, You shouldn't be compensated for that. That's kind of what you're doing. That's what you do as a streamer. You kind of bring people into your life, you know, for 10 minutes to 10 hours to whatever. And it's supposed to be just kind of a fun time. It's supposed to be just hanging out. You shouldn't expect to get compensation. It just kind of seems a bit disingenuous. Kind of reminds me of this thing that, what's that guy's name? Someone sent me a video on him. Wings of Redemption, I think. He's starting to, he had a rough patch a little while back. It doesn't sound as disingenuous as this here, but they call him out for a bunch of crazy shit too. And he had said something similar to what Phil said, where when he comes on stream, he's, you know, kind of expecting to be compensated. At least he alludes to that. He doesn't say that in exact words. If this is how the streaming culture is, if this is what the future of gaming is, Phil, it's not going to last very long. It's going to crash rather quickly. People shit on the booby streamers because, well, a whole bunch of titties on stream. But in truth, you don't make this any better. I think I'd rather have a nice set of titties in my face than listening to this silly shit here. From someone who blatantly doesn't like what he does and expects to be paid at every turn. Seems a bit slimy. I think I'm going to need a bath.
Trolls, which is ludicrous. It's supposed to be a major company advertising and promoting their product. Who cares about trolls, right? But they're so ridiculous and wishy-washy that because some trolls messaged them today and they found me on a fucking dramatic trolling website as a listed person there with negative slander against me that's not true, they're not doing the sponsorship anymore. That's awful. I'm sorry. You're going to operate a company. Clear the people first before you offer them sponsorship. And by the way, when they go through with what they promised that they were going to do to get the sponsorship, you have to follow through. They're telling me they're not going to, and that's why I'm making this video to clear the air. And that's the situation, folks. So it sucks. It's stupid.
And now the trolls get their jollies. Ha ha ha, we got Phil.
Yeah, I'm a gamer.
You mean I have to change my behavior?
And now Opseat looks terrible. So that's the situation, everyone. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for watching. I hope this clears up the situation. I'm done with it. I'm not going to mention it anymore. Obviously not going to give these guys advertising. I don't want a chair from them. I don't want their sponsorship anymore because a company that treats me like that, I don't want to be a part of. It's that simple.
The salty tears. I'm not a whiny baby. If you're running a company and you're so dumb that you don't clear the people you offer sponsorship to and then you renege on your agreement after someone's already done something because you don't like trolls and you're too stupid to do the research to find out if it's true or not,
a good point. Okay, I'm not going to do this for you. What is it that is disparaging or that is slander that is not true? The masturbation on stream thing is very true. First off, which is one of the main things. Isn't that why Laveria ended up dropping your ass for the same thing? They looked at that and they were like, oh, yeah, we don't need that. You can't sit there and say the shit's not true when the shit that's called out on you is the very shit that's on camera. That can be substantiated. This isn't CSI. People can prove this. What's your footage? You know what I'm saying? It's your footage, or it's your words. Are you calling yourself a liar? Are you Andy Hoffman and this is all supposed to be some elaborate scheme? No, you're not that smart. So, not even close. So, what's all this extra for? And then you decided to bash the company afterwards. What if someone went back and was like, you know what? We might have jumped to conclusions. We might have jumped to conclusions. Let's wait a couple days, see what happens, and then go forth. And then they see this video, or they see Mr. Sub's video, which is coming up next, or they see D's video, or they see Meme 101's video, and then what? Or they see anybody else's video, and then they're like, oh, he decided to do this? Oh, well, never mind. Let's just go ahead and drop that. Or even worse of all, they saw one of your videos. This video in particular. Then how do you expect them to react? Come on. Like, some common sense would go a long way. I mean, whatever. Whatever.
I don't want to be a part of your company. I don't want your sponsorship.
This sounds like machinima all over again.
So, OPC, you may have the best gaming chairs on planet Earth. I don't give a shit. I want nothing to do with you because of the way you treated me. And I hope that you learn.
This sounds just like machinima all over again.
from your mistakes, because now you got major egg on your face and you look really stupid.
We know what's going to win. The troll answer wins. The troll answer always wins. Oh yeah.
I gotta get back to work. Peace out.
Back to work?
What? Burn in hell, Burnell.
Yep.
And I'm gonna burn in hell for the rest of eternity.
Probably.
Because of it.
Yeah.
You can't change who you are, I guess.
You're doing a pretty good job of proving that. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Today what I'd like to do, this is one that I've wanted to do.
All right, guys, this is Mr. Stuff's DSP Gaming handling sponsors. Yeah.
For a couple weeks now, but
this right here is from a DSP Tries It. DSP Tries It episode 2, actually. Modded controller. When was this done? February 28th of...
I wanted to give it sufficient time.
February 28th of 2012. God damn, that was a long ass time ago.
To give a fair assessment of how I felt that this product is. And if you don't know what this is, it means you probably missed the video, the special unboxing video that I did a couple weeks back. It was called Custom Laser Mods Controller unboxing. And so let me explain how this came about, okay? There's this company called LaserMods.com, and
I don't know. I'd rather just have a scuff controller, to be honest with you.
Obviously, I will put a link in the description of this video so everyone can check this out. But this is a company that makes custom-made, pimped-out game pads. Now, they don't only just do Xbox 360, they also do PS3, just so you know. So you can get it for this the popular hardcore system of your choice. And they contacted me and said, hey, Phil, you know,
It's a good thing he has all those controllers, too. Well, he used to. Because he was always breaking those damn things. Like, he was constantly breaking those damn things. That's another thing, too, right? If you guys think about people like Phil, and believe it or not, there are people like him, just not as bad. But some of the people who are like Phil, who try to make YouTube a living, you know, all those years ago, they had their rise, they had popularity, they had money. And instead of doing what they should have done and saved it and whatnot, been humble, you know what I mean? Treat people in a decent way. You know what I mean? Instead, they most of them shitted up as much as they could, spent money on a bunch of shit they didn't need, went broke, and now are still doing YouTube for a living, or at least trying to. And now you see them at their last bottom dollar. You see them sitting there. You see them sitting there and basically having to whore themselves out essentially for money and whatnot, and talking about this, that, and the third, and talking about, oh, well, this is what I used to have, and look at me now, and so on and so forth. Now, the reason why I bring that up is, I say that to say this. A lot of them, especially in the gaming realm, they've gone through a multitude of controllers because they keep breaking them out of frustration. When they lash out, they go ahead and they bash the first thing that they have close to them, which is either their controller or their headsets. It's interesting, I gotta say.
This is what we do. Would you possibly like us to make you a custom controller, you know, free of charge? And we'll talk a little bit about the designs or whatever, and then you can show it off in your videos. And I said, absolutely. And I'll even do you one better, because I actually do have a series where I try out new products that I've never tried before. And I'd like to give your, you know, gamepad a fair review once I get it and let everyone know what I think about it. Hello everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of DSP Tries It. This is one where I'm really not trying out something that is normally part of this series. You know, usually I'm trying out a food item, a drink, even a gaming peripheral. In this case, it's a very special episode because I have to say special thanks to the people at Sumo. Sumo is a company who, as you can see, manufactures beanbag chairs. And I want to say thanks to them because they sent me this chair for free in order to do this review today, which is awesome because, as you know, later this year I'm planning to move. I'm going to need furniture, and this is a great starting piece for a new place, right?
Now, here's the thing, though, too, right? If you go back and you look, Phil did actually have he did have a couple of really good sponsoring deals. Nothing, I would say, super, super big. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember, actually, I'm pretty confident that, like, you know, Hori or Mad Cats or nothing like that in the gaming realm actually sponsored him for anything in particular, but he did have, you know, he had some sponsorships here or there. He had some knickknacks or whatnot. And it's funny how he messed all of that up just through his behavior alone. You know what I mean? Or some of these stupid ass comments that he tends to make about the game, an opponent, or even about the product itself. So in truth, there was a period of time where he was considered marketable, and he could have actually really have done something great maybe. It's still debatable amongst historians whether he could have been great, but he could have done some really great stuff, and he just didn't. He kind of took every free thing that was given to him, and what does it mean now? It's in that other bedroom, just sitting there collecting dust. If he even remembers what they are or where they are, he squandered his opportunities in a lot of the ways how he squandered his popularity, and he did it for nothing. Nothing was gained from that. He didn't try to reach out to any of the bigger partnerships. He didn't say, "Hey, look at my track record. Look what I was able to do with them. Excuse me. How about we do some cross branding?" Because whether you believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, DSP is a brand. He's been around long enough, but more importantly, he's done enough to where, so to speak, that he could be considered a brand. So it's a shame that he kind of squandered that at a time when he could have done more with it. But then again, that goes back to the whole thing with Machinima and what they were trying to do with him, where they wanted to maybe push him into the realm of being as a fighting game, like an anchorman, someone who does play-by-plays. Really, he would do color commentary. But I'll do a video on that. I've been working on that for a little while now. And, or at least, deciding what I wanted to write up anyway. And he could have done something like that, and he completely squandered it. Because he didn't know he didn't understand. You know what I mean? So for someone who talks down to people and makes himself seem like he's so intellectually up there, or at least makes himself seem like he's competent, he's not. Not from a business standpoint anyway. You know what I mean? His life mirrors his business. He gets as much as he can out of it in the short term, and then loses everything and some in the long term. It's rather shameful to say the least. It's actually it's a sad existence when you think of it, because it's almost like everything he touches goes to shit, and he doesn't know how to stop it, so he just goes along with it. It's kind of like when people troll him, for example. He doesn't know how to stop it except for lashing out, and all he does is feed into it. And then when he's tired of fighting, if you want to call it fighting, he just lets it go because he doesn't know how to handle it after that. He can't fight back. He already failed at doing that. So he just lets it ride out, hoping that it'll just go away. He's not man enough to stand on both of his. He's not man enough to stand up and just engage in it. He won't do that. He has to do these little bullshit nitpicks. He has to send other people to fight his fights for him. He can't do it himself, and that's a shame. That's a shame. You know what I mean? You could say he lives in a perpetual state of fear and paranoia because he knows nothing else. And this comes from someone who's thrown threats at people before. Just like one of his former whales. Sorry about that.
So one way you could sit on it, which a lot of people who have beanbag chairs might not even think because they're not normally of this design, is you can ride it almost like a horse, right? So you can sit down, just like this, whoosh. Immediately all the beams will come to fill. It's kind of funny because it looks like you can hug the head of the horse, right? I love this. This feels so comfortable to me. You don't even know. If I'm in a back injury, this feels great. So the last thing I want to leave this with is the price, which I'm going to look up right now on their website so that you guys understand how much it is, so that you know where to go and how much, if you're going to want one, you're going to be spending.
Wait a second. You should have had all that right there anyway. Or you should have memorized it. If you can't memorize it, that's fine. But you should have had all of that right there with you. Whether it was written on a piece of paper, whether you have it hanging up, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You should have had that information right then and there. You shouldn't be looking it up as you're doing the review for it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Here they are. So their website is sumolounge.com, so everybody knows. And it's playing an extremely loud video as soon as you go there.
Wow.
That's great. Back on Saturday, I was doing a stream on Twitch. It was me trying out the VR chat game, which is now a viral thing.
Excuse me. How the trolls cost me a sponsorship, and how Opseat screwed me. This is on the King of Hate vlogs.
It's gone memes all over the internet with Ugandan knuckles and everything.
January 22nd. So yeah, it was only a couple days ago.
Like that.
2 days ago, actually.
As I was playing this game, tons of viewers came in. I had over 1,000 viewers at one point coming in to watch me try out this VR chat.
Oh boy.
As I was doing it, apparently, someone who either was a representative or someone who works for Opseat, a company that makes gaming chairs, okay, came in to my stream, watched me, saw, wow, here's a guy, he's being positive, he's got a good viewership right now, this is someone who maybe we could get to sponsor, you know, to start help sell our products. And I received an email after that stream ended, stating, hey Phil, you know, I'm a representative from Opseat, and we saw your stream, and we actually saw you mention during the stream that your current computer chair sucks and it hurts your back. What we'd like to do is have you as a sponsor. What we're going to do, free chair sounds good to me. Promotion, I've done it before. As you guys know, I've had other partnerships in the past with Loot Crate and the like. Never had a problem with any of that. And I said, why not? Why not? You know, I'm going to get a free chair.
Like I said, except for you couldn't make it profitable in the long term. Yeah, you had a few fans that came in, they bought it, yada, yada, yada. But then after a while, bam, it fizzled out. So, and that's because he doesn't know how to, he can't, look at how he presents himself, to be honest with you. Look at how he carries himself. It's lazy. It's unorganized. It's not thrown together very well. He doesn't present himself well. You know what I mean? And that's why he talks so damn much. Is because, and that's where the whole broke man Jedi mind trick come into play. To compensate for his lack of preparation, he makes himself sound as if he's on the ball. You know what I mean? And you can only go so far with that. You really, it's how it is. I mean, you guys seen how lazy my videos are. You can kind of understand that to an extent. But you know what I'm saying? It's just he doesn't present himself well. So if he can't present himself well, how do you expect him to present a product? And if you look at some of his past sponsorships, they're hit or miss. Some of them are all right. Some of them are like he just failed. Good example, if you guys kind of know the video, he was presenting. It was like a trail mix of some type, where it was like a high energy. It was like a high energy type of snack mix, low in fat. You know, obviously, and it was expensive though too. It was really expensive. I think he said it was like $5.50 for the container. Yeah, it's not expensive, I guess. It's expensive for him. But anyway, he was presenting this trail mix, and he was unenthusiastic. He was kind of like, yeah, I have this thing of trail mix here. There's nuts, and there's dried cherries, and has some of this, that, and the third, and it gives me energy because, you know, I'm a gamer, so I don't have a lot of time to get up and make myself meals, so I can just go ahead and I don't want to go and get chips because chips are greasy, and I don't have to want to wipe it on my clothes and get my controller all messed up, so I can kind of eat these, pop some of them in, you know, wipe my hand, you know, off of on my pants, and then get back to gaming. I always had a problem with that video because it was like, have you never heard of something called a napkin or a paper towel? You never heard of any of these inventions? You have to just wipe it on your clothes and shit? Jesus Christ, even cavemen had manners. Anyway, but yet again, like situations like that, where it would be a bit difficult, and you have to really kind of, appeal to people who, you have to sell people on the idea that this right here is okay to try. He can't do that. He's just never, it's not something that he has. It requires a bit of bravado. It requires charm. It requires delivery. He doesn't have those things. You know what I mean? He just doesn't have that. And then he's not versatile and whatnot, which is hard because if you can't, when someone presents something to you, like a YouTube channel, for example, there has to be something about that YouTube channel that's appealing to you. Now, granted, you're not going to like everything about the YouTube channel. Some people will, but not everybody will. They're not going to like everything. So there has to be something about yourself that can appeal to multiple people, that can bring them coming back. And in turn, you hope to cause growth. The problem is with Phil is everybody liked the whole concept about him being truthful and him being real or whatever you want to call it until he got too real, until he got too personal, until he ended up getting too spiteful, until he got too petty. And then that's when people started to kind of back up off of him. And then when he just started to get over on people, when he felt like he was owed something, that's when he started to fall apart. I might do a video on that, talking about that briefly, on when did Phil start slipping. I might do that. That might make a good topic video, actually. That might make a good topic video. All right, let's continue.
Easily promote it, take pictures of it. If anyone buys it, I get a few extra bucks. Even if no one ever buys a chair from it, it still sounds like a good idea for free promotion. I get a free chair. Why wouldn't I do it? Okay? All of a sudden during the stream, I start seeing people in the stream chat start talking about, Phil, are you aware of what's going on right now? Phil. Now the thing is, when I'm streaming, I can't be derailed. I'm playing a game. I can just stop everything I'm doing on stream to be derailed and start talking about this other subject. But what I see is people in the stream chat start talking about, is Phil aware that basically his sponsorship's over already, that the trolls have contacted OPC via social media and told them that he's a horrible person and linked him to a bunch of slanderous stuff on the internet, and they responded saying they're going to cancel the sponsorship. Of course I didn't know that. I'm streaming a game. I don't know anything about this. You know, they never came to me and said anything about it. So I continued to play the game, all right, and then I went on a break. Usually, typically when I stream, I take a break in the middle of my stream, and then I do about another 2 to 2.5 hours of streaming after the break. So I go on break, and I open my email. Sure enough, here we go, right? So I'm going to, just so there's no misconceptions about any of this situation whatsoever, all right? I'm literally going to read to you, word for word, the email I got from OPC. So there's no one that can accuse of slander or anything like that. I'm going to read from you word for word. It said,
when you started bashing them, wouldn't that be considered slander in some way, shape, or form? Or at least that's what you call it when people do it to you. So you're about to engage in that now. Okay.
Phil, it's been brought to our attention that you have an extensive history across the Let's Play community, with the best summarization being from Lol Cow.
Now, like I said, I feel like they should have sent this to him first before they had made their comments on YouTube. I mean, on Twitch. Not Twitch. I'm an idiot. On Twitter. But then again, they may have. Remember, he said that he was told during his stream while he was still playing that this company decided to drop him. So they may have very well sent him the email first and then made their public statement. I'm not really quite sure of the timing of it because Phil's a liar and not like any of us have access to his emails. So there you go.
And then they linked to some Lolcow wiki I've never heard of and never been to before. And of course, when you click on it, it's all slanderous, negative, false shit. Phil.
And also, now that you brought that up, Phil, it's very possible that right there was just what they felt was compelling enough evidence to send to you as it pertains to why they severed your contract. They very well could have Googled you or even gone on YouTube and saw that, oh yeah, this isn't a good idea. But they just used the lolcow situation or webpage as their kind of centerpiece on, hey, this is the real reason why, if you're not aware. There you go.
Phil's a pedophile. Phil's a beggar. Phil's this. Phil's that. All the negative, slanderous shit people have made up about me over the last how many years, right? All summarized on this page. But let me continue on with what the email says. Unfortunately, this history is not something that we want to see when thinking of the OPC brand, and we're saddened by the sight of it. Because of this, we are unable to move forward with your sponsorship. Oops. Guess what, OPC? I hate to tell you guys this. That's not how business works.
It's apparently how it worked right now. That's how it worked right then and there.
You don't offer something. Here are the terms. Okay, I abide by the terms, and I begin the promotion, and then you renege on your agreement, which I have in email.
As I said earlier, I'm sure they have some type of clause in their contract. 2, you didn't even fulfill all of your terms and conditions. Yes, you may have started the early stages of the promotion, but you still haven't actually promoted the actual chair yet because guess what? You didn't have the chair yet. So in theory, you haven't even fulfilled all of the terms of your contract. 2, which someone would point that out to you. I'm sure people already have. And 3, you have a mountain, not even a mountain. You have the Grand Canyon of internet shit behind you. And basically what Phil wanted to say, I'm surprised he didn't say it, is why didn't they come to him directly and have a conversation and try to work this out? The thing is you can't hide that. That's the problem. You can't hide that, and there's so much there's so much there that you can't explain that away. So you can sit there and call them whatever you want to call them for folding under pressure. There's way too much backstory. You can't do that. How many episodes of Dragon Ball Z are there? Shouts out to Almighty Tevin, by the way. But how many episodes of Dragon Ball? Well, shouts out to anybody really who's a fan of Dragon Ball. I'm going to say Almighty Tevin. How many episodes of Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Z are there? There are, just to memory, there's like I think there's like either 293 or 297. Then there's 13 movies on top of that. Phil, you have that and so much more that you would have never been able to hide from them. It's just too much. Even if it is trolling, if it is bullshit, even if it is slander, it's too much. It's just way, way too much. And you're such a public figure that it's just too much. I don't know how to say it any more than that. It's just way too much. Way too much. You know what I mean? The fact that Twitch even thought about putting you in to test out a couple of the 2 new features that they were going to roll out later, to me is still shocking that they were ballsy enough to take one of the most hated people on the internet and be like, or at least one of the most hated people on YouTube, and decided to be like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get him and whatnot. Because there's no way he can, F this up. But for a company like this who's trying to get into the market and whatnot, it's not just it's really not just the customer base. It's other people they're trying to get into sponsors with. For example, let's say Phil ends up starting to sponsor that, right? And then let's say, for example, Jesse, you're in I see you in almost all my comment sections, man. Let's say they offer you a sponsorship. Let's say Jamario, let's say they offer you one. Let's say they offer Doom a la carte 6661. Let's say they offer Jackal's the Jackal's Lair one. When you guys find, and I'd love for all of you guys who I just named, and anybody else, to answer this question in the comment section. If you found out that you guys were you were in a sponsorship deal with Darkside Phil, how do you think that would affect you? Now, most of you would probably think that, oh, well, hey, I'm doing me, and as long as I'm doing the best that I can to promote the product, then it is what it is. But I would assume somewhere in the back of your mind, though, you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is a bad one. This is going to be tough. You know what I mean? Because, yet again, he does have the type of people who will point out that, wow, man, you're basically working with the same company that works with Darkside Phil. You can't say Twitch because Twitch is just so much bigger than that. But like a smaller company like Opseat, it's like, ugh. You know what I mean? And then what if they wanted you guys to kind of do a collaboration or a type of situation like that? Then that gets even rougher. You know what I mean? And these companies are known for doing stuff like that. That makes it rough. You know what I'm saying? That makes it really, really rough. You know what I'm saying? You got to make some hard decisions when stuff like that happens. Because remember, they're not actually paying you per se. It's about the money that you're bringing in and you get a cut from it. So the situation's done differently. You guys are cut from a different cloth at that point. Just something to think about. I just want to throw that out there.
Right here form a contract between you and me. Therefore, OPC.
But they held all the cards, Phil. They may have not held their hand as well as they could have, but they had winning. They still had the winning hand. They still had the high hand on you, no matter what.
Violated the terms of their agreement with me already immediately by canceling. All right, there's no way you could do that. Once you already have a legal agreement in place, which I have in writing, if you do this, we'll do this. I have it all done. in the middle of the process, I already do my half of the bargain, they renege. It's actually not possible. It's illegal to do that. Now, personally...
I mean, do you have the money to take them to court over it? You don't? Okay. That's right, because you can barely pay for your... You're apparently having problems paying for taxes and paying for a house. So you have no legal grounds to stand on anyway because you can't even afford legal counsel. So maybe, just maybe, you might want to keep your mouth shut on that. I'm just saying. That's just friendly advice. Unless you're going to sue, you may want to keep your mouth shut on that one. You know what I'm saying? In truth. And maybe you need to go back and read your contract. And that's if you guys even got that far.
Do I really care that much? No, I don't. Because all I was getting out of it was a chair, which I was going to, put together,
It sounds like someone who's butthurt, literally butthurt, that you're missing out on that chair. Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, in truth, he's really just mad because he feels like he put some work in and he's not getting any payoff for it. That's really what it comes down to. Which is kind of funny because don't people pay you money to play games and then you don't play them? Like currently, you're playing Mario Sunshine. You're playing it what? Yeah, you played it yesterday being Tuesday and you're playing it today as of Wednesday. And then you're going to put it on hiatus because there's some bigger games coming out. But you were paid $1,250 to play those games. So you set the terms, okay? The pay pigs paid up their money and whatnot so they can meet the requirements for you to play that game, and you put it off for the last couple months, and now you're going to push it back even further after giving them, 8 hours of gameplay? Or 2 sessions? You should be playing it all day today, and you should have played it all day yesterday and today. I don't know if you did or not, but I doubt it. I think you only used one of your streams to play the sessions. I think you only played 2 sessions is what I'm trying to say. Instead, you should have played it for 2 straight days before you put it back on hiatus. That's what you should have done. But, that doesn't count, though, because you're just a small business and you're not a company. I got you. You're right. Who was I to come up out my pocket and think that you should be held to the very same standards that you would hold other people to? You're right. I'm sorry. I got you. Sorry. You can't hold an unshaved monkey to do something what other people do. I got you. You're right. My bad. My fault.
Video of, tell you guys what I thought about it. Where I already did my half of the bargain. I already promoted what I was supposed to promote. And now I'm going to get nothing out of it because trolls spammed this company and this company had a knee-jerk reaction instead of doing 2 minutes of research.
And like I said, first off, we don't know. It's very possible that they did do the research. They should have done it maybe beforehand, sure. But either way, they did do the research. Secondly, there wasn't trolls. It was one person. It was one person who came across and made a very compelling argument, and end of story. It is what it was. Jesus Christ.
Right? But now let's really talk about the root cause of the problem. Is it the trolls? Of course, it's them. Because they're scumbags. They're obsessed with me. They will do anything they can to hurt me in any way. It's not hard to go on YouTube and search for DSP Gaming or Darkside Phil and see tons of slander against me immediately. And if they didn't want to be involved in any of that, they immediately should have said, okay, don't offer him the sponsorship. Not what happened, which is I literally got a positive email from this guy on Saturday stating, here it is. I'm the director of marketing for OPC. We're leading a brand of gaming chairs. I was checking out your Twitch stream today and I wanted to propose a sponsorship. So here's what we're offering. So, sorry, head of marketing of OPC, you do a bad job. You offered me a sponsorship, had me do everything on the end of my end to do everything professionally, and then reneged on it because of trolls attacking me with slander and you believing it or saying, well, it's too late, after the fact, oh, well, now we don't want that. It's too late. You've already offered the sponsorship. If you want to offer sponsorship, you have to clear that first. You don't, after the fact, find out that shit happened and then renege on your agreements. So...
Alright, so let's go by that same argument. So, that's like saying... so that's like saying that you have a streamer who's a pedophile, and he and he's covered it up pretty well up till that point. I'm not talking about Phil in this one. This is just just for posterity's sake here. So you have someone who's been streaming for a while and whatnot. He's known, and it comes out that he's a pedophile and whatnot. But he's getting ready to sign a deal with a new company, or he's alleged to be a pedophile. Let's say that he's alleged to be a pedophile. He's about to sign a brand new deal. Then the story breaks. They sign the deal with him, and then they find out what happened. And they're like, oh, well, we got to back out of this. So they back out. Are you telling me the company should stand by him no matter what, because despite the fact that this situation has broken and the story's coming out because it's possibly a troll or it's possibly slander? Have you not been paying attention to what's going on in Hollywood right now? Phil? Shit is getting real right now, man. It's getting real. You're talking about people who were looked at as some of the best and brightest in Hollywood are getting accused of the most ridiculous shit. And here's the funny part. At first, there was people just like you, Phil, who were like, oh, no, it's not true. It's a lie. They never happened. Kevin Spacey is a strong example of people saying that, oh, he didn't really do that. He didn't do that. That was a lie. You know, they were lying on him. Now he's starting to kind of be like, I might be accused of some. They might be right on some of that stuff. Harry Weinstein has come out and basically fessing up to almost everything. And there's people who were defending him too. We live in the court of public opinion. It's very, very easy to slander somebody and for that shit to stick. And even after you fight it off, even after you can prove that it's not true, it still sticks with you. It's very hard to get that shit to come off. It's just, that's how it works. That's how it is, I should say. I wouldn't say that's how it works, but that's how it is. And if you're a company who's taking a risk getting into another market and whatnot, you just can't afford that. So if you can sever a contract, then you need to sever it. Yes, they made a vital misstep instead of checking your fucking background. You know what I mean? They should have done that shit. They should have been more diligent, I should say, in doing so. But then again, I can't necessarily blame them for wanting to drop you, though. I really can't. Yes, they made a very vital misstep. A horrible misstep. At the same time, given the period of time in between, it's not like you guys were a month in on the deal. You guys were less than 72 hours in. So if they cut your legs off, they cut your legs off. They have to do what they have to do for the company. You're not even really in the company yet. You're still in the process. You were still in the process phase. So they cut you loose. And to be honest with you, they did the best that they could for the business. The last thing they need is as many trolls and haters and detractors or whatever you want to call people that are on YouTube who make videos about you. You really think they want that many people hitting them up on social media, slandering their products, slandering their company for who they support? You got to be smarter than this, Phil. You have to be smarter. Well, you're not smarter than this, but you need to be. This is your livelihood. This is your business, allegedly. You have to think like a businessman, if you're capable of it. DSP News.
Right now, there are two parties at fault. The trolls, who spammed OPC, of course, with negativity about me. That's completely untrue. And OPC, the company, and or the marketing department of the company, who, number one, did not do their job and due diligence to make sure that they were offering sponsorship to someone who they felt was in line with their company. And number two, for actually reneging on an agreement after I went through with my half of the bargain. So, I just wanted to clear the air, folks. No, apparently I don't have a sponsorship with OPC. I don't know, because I wrote them an email during my break, which was now 3 hours ago. I got no response from these guys. So I'm assuming they're never going to respond. And I'm sure they're not going to reverse their decision magically and go back to their sponsorship. They screwed up. They did a horrible job here. They basically have now hurt me because now, of course, I publicly look bad because I had a sponsorship that I did earn through a positivity of a fun stream that I did on Saturday, but because they cave to a troll.
They didn't earn it. You didn't earn shit, because saying that you earned it means that they were obligated to give it to you. And no one's obligated to give you a goddamn thing. They offered you an opportunity. It wasn't owed to you. You're not special. They gave you an opportunity. There's a difference. Just like everybody else in your life who took a chance on your ass. The only difference was they were smart enough to get out before they got burned. Period. Nothing was owed to you. Just because you have a fucking decent stream doesn't mean sponsorships are just, they have to be obligated to give you something. That's not how this works. That's not how life works. There are plenty of good people who walk around every day doing the best that they can to be just a good person and get treated like shit or have some of the worst things that happen to them. It's a terrible situation. Respect is supposed to breed respect. But we live in a day and age where even that doesn't exist anymore. Or at least barely. No one owes you shit, Phil. Not a damn thing. The day you actually start understanding that, you might be taking the first step in the right direction. But in truth, you're literally up to your knees in the grave. Like I said, you're talking to ants and worms. Everybody else is just kind of looking at you, watching you sink. And occasionally, someone's pissing on your head. It is what it is. I know that sounds despicable, but it's as truthful as you're going to ever get it.
Which is ludicrous. It's supposed to be a major company advertising and promoting their product. Who cares about trolls, right? But they're so ridiculous and wishy-washy that because some trolls messaged them today.
Oh, what's wrong, Phil? Are they sissies? Are you going to call them gay now? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yet again, this is what happens when you sit there and you talk from a place of ignorance and nothing else. And he doesn't even realize, and as he's saying all this, he doesn't even realize how he's cutting his own throat. In the long term, he doesn't even see it. Has no clue. Hasn't even fathomed to him. Because he's so mad that he just wants to talk about this situation, and he thinks after he shuts this video off, he's done. And he doesn't realize that the implications, which I'll talk about in a minute, well, as soon as he's done talking, is going to be long-lasting. It's amazing he made it this far in life.
And they found me on a fucking dramatic trolling website as a listed person there with negative slander against me. That's not true. They're not doing the sponsorship anymore. That's awful. I'm sorry. You're going to operate a company. Clear the people first before you offer them sponsorship. And by the way, when they go through with what they promised that they were going to do to get the sponsorship, you have to follow through. They're telling me they're not going to, and that's why I'm making this video to clear the air. And that's the situation, folks. I'm done with it. I'm not going to mention it anymore. I'm not going to, obviously not going to give these guys advertising. I don't want a chair from them. I don't want their sponsorship anymore because a company that treats me like that, I don't want to be a part of. It's that simple. If you're running a company and you're so dumb that you don't clear the people you offer sponsorship.
Sorry about that. Had some new office furniture being delivered, so that's exciting. Let's continue.
Sponsorship to, and then you renege on your agreement after someone's already done something because you don't like trolls and you're too stupid to do the research to find out if it's true or not. I don't want to be a part of your company. I don't want your sponsorship. So, OPC, you may have the best gaming chairs on planet Earth. I don't give a shit. I want nothing to do with you because of the way you treated me, and I hope that you learn from your mistakes because now you got major egg on your face and you look really stupid. He had $5 tip. And he says, sorry to hear about the pathetic trolls messing
Okay, this is the pre-stream that he had later on that night.
up your sponsor. I appreciate it, Phil Husbando. Phil is Husbando. Yeah, it's bullshit, you know. I did nothing to actively seek the sponsor. The sponsor came to me. I go along with everything they want. I promote them this morning, and then they say they're not going to do it. It's like, you're a little late. You're a little fucking late. So, yeah, it is what it is, folks. Some stuff just really sucks in life, and sadly, I have a group of, you know, mentally ill, obsessed, you know, people. They just fuck with me as much as they can, and they cost me a sponsorship, and it sucks. It could have been a profitable sponsorship. I could have had a nice chair, promote this company, get referral credits off of sales, and instead it's all gone because the company basically are a bunch of sissies. I mean, what else are you going to say? They are. They get messaged by trolls on Twitter, and then they reference a lolcow website and they say they can't sponsor me. Are you stupid? I already promoted you, so you already are breaking our contract because I already did my half of the contract. And you listen to a bunch of idiots who message you on Twitter with a lolcow website as justification for why you should not have me, you know, as a, I mean, it's just so stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It just makes no sense at all. Really ridiculously stupid. But it is what it is. Fuck it. What am I going to do? I'm not going to sit here and be like, meh. Yeah, I'm just going to progress on positively and do what I'm going to do. And it is what it is. Smack Hammer did a 25-bit series. I'm a poor college student. I've been a huge fan since OG Fallout days. I'm honestly good at watching your shit. Thanks for the dedication. Thank you, Smack Hammer. And my Goody Good did a 25-bit series. Says, it sucks, man. I hate it when it's that way. If you were a huge YouTuber, they wouldn't do that to you. They would ignore it. Right, no. Here's the bottom line. Apparently this company already has big sponsorships with big YouTubers. And they've gotten their exposure from big YouTubers. They're already overexposed. So now what they're trying to do is get in on the little guy market, right? So they just start checking random Twitch streams. They see a really good stream of mine, 1,000 viewers, me playing VR chat, having fun, the stream's entertaining, everything's going good in the stream chat. Let's offer this guy sponsorship. They do no research. They don't pay any attention. They just, the world's just a perfect place and everything's fine. There's nothing's going to go wrong, right?
Now keep in mind, yet again, he's upset because of the fact that they offered him the sponsorship and he took it and he did a little bit of work and that was it. You know what I mean? That's what he's kind of upset about, and he called it the public slander they did to him. How would he have felt if none of this ever happened? Well, he wouldn't have felt anything because he wouldn't have known. But how would he have felt if he had found out that there was a couple of people from a particular company like OP Seating who was in his comment section on it, watching his stream, seeing what was going on, didn't think much of what they saw as it pertains to when they did a background check, and decided not to sponsor him at all. And then somebody on Twitter was like, hey, how about you guys promote this guy, Darkside Phil? And they were like, we looked into it. We don't think he is a good fit for our company. There's nothing disparaging about that. We don't think he's a good fit. And guess what Phil would have done? He would have blown up and acted like a fucking baby and been like, well, who the fuck are they? Oh, well, I don't know what they are anyway. Screw them. No. He would have acted poorly regardless. It is what it is.
So they offer me the sponsorship, and then assholes immediately start trolling. They look into it, and they're like, well, this guy's sadly a lot of trolling around him, and we don't want to have any of that associated with us. And then they pull it back. But they already offered me the sponsorship. They already had me promote. It's like, you can't, that's like being, what is it, Indian giver? What's the saying? Of someone who says something, promises, and then someone does what they're supposed to do, and then you don't follow through. Like, it would have been one thing if they were in the process of offering it to me, and then they said, oh, you know what, we just kind of found out about this negativity around you, so we want to take it back. But no, they already had me, I already signed up, already had promoted, then they take it back. It's too late. That was the fucked up part about it. You know, how can you say that that's professional? You can't. It's unprofessional as fuck of them. So, they could literally have the best chair on the planet. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be associated with a company that's unprofessional like that. I just don't.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where what you're hearing now is what's important. This is, from every word that he says from here on out, essentially, is going to be what keeps him from getting any really good sponsorship in the future. Because for OP Seating, for OP Seats, for everybody else who's a sponsor, who's heard about the situation, and they come and see this particular video, or they see his pre-stream, the pre-stream for the nighttime stream, and they see and hear this, they're gonna be like, oh, well, we're never gonna touch him. We're not gonna touch him with a 10-foot pole. It's just not gonna happen. Here's what makes it even more interesting. There could be someone at OPS who's gonna look at this and be like, oh, well, fuck him. I'm gonna start reaching out to other sponsors and be like, yo, this guy Darkside Phil, don't ever offer him anything at all. And then they just go ahead and start circulating the information that they have on Phil. He doesn't understand that he could have just taken the L and moved on with it. Hey guys, I had an opportunity to, I know on my pre-stream earlier today, I promoted this chair. Something happened. There was a fallout. It is what it was. Sponsors come, sponsors go. I appreciate the opportunity that they initially gave me, and we're going to move on. Instead, and he may have still gotten the free chair out of this, instead, he goes on this bashing campaign and whatnot, making a total ass of himself, and now all of them may sit there and be like, well, shit, we can't touch Phil. We can't touch him. Because if this is how he acts being rejected, what happens when we put him under contract and we ask him to do something he doesn't like? What's he going to do? He's going to run off and make a video slandering us. Someone could easily have linked him the situation of Machinima, and then that happens and whatnot. He has a laundry list worth of crap that makes him what he is. He did it to himself, and all he's doing is proving it now. And that right there in itself, ladies and gentlemen, is the real tragedy that comes from this. If you can say the initial situation itself, it is what it is. But how he handled it is the worst part of it. How he handled the situation, how he handled the adversity is what makes him a terrible person, but more importantly than that, makes him terrible for business. So when you guys say, why am I toxic? Why am I toxic for businesses? Why am I toxic for sponsors? It could be a potential punchline. But he lives up to it. It is what it is.
It's really forever that a 50 mature sounds like the company's run by mental midgets. No, sadly, it's just run by, like I said, people who aren't around the block. They don't actually understand how the internet works. They're just trying to sell chairs, and they probably don't have a lot of experience with anyone who actually has negativity around them, and or is affected by things like mass slander and that shit. So, you know, I can't hit this guy. There's no way. So for them, it was such a new thing. They couldn't even fathom that someone who they were going to offer a chair to would have this kind of negative assholes following them around and fucking with them. So to them, it was like hitting by surprise, right? Oh my god, I can't believe this guy who we wanted to be part of our program now has these people harassing him, and they say all this negative, look at all the negative shit about him on the internet. We can't have that, you know. I mean, it was an honest mistake. The problem is you can't make an honest mistake and then try to just take it back and pretend like, oh, you're not fucking someone over, because they are. They fucked me over. I already promoted them, you know. I already announced the sponsorship, which they told me to do, and I already had promoted them, which they asked me to do. So I did exactly what I was asked, and then they went back on what they...
Now, like I said earlier on, I still feel like he didn't actually fill all the obligations. He doesn't have the chair yet. He hasn't done everything else to kind of seal the deal. At the same time, he does make a good point in the fact that he did do the initial, you know, what they initially asked of him. But in truth, as head of marketing, you shouldn't have asked him to do any sponsorship whatsoever until he has the chair in hand. Until Philip himself puts his gout-ridden carcass into the damn thing and see how he actually likes it. Because if you're uncomfortable with something, you can lie to everybody all you want, but how you present yourself or how people react to how you look or how you're affected by it or how your speech is or how you know what I'm saying, just your basic body language tells it all and whatnot. And that's what was really going to hurt them later on. It was just, they kind of jumped ahead a little bit. They jumped ahead a lot in truth. And yet again, there's a lot of parties that would be considered involved that are held out. But at the end of the day, Phil fucked himself over. At the end of the day, he still screwed himself. How he handled the end game of this is terrible. It's worse than what preceded it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I said, who started what, who did this and that, I mean, we can debate that all day. But how he handles it at the end, though, is the problem.
They said they were going to do.
Well, it's worse, I should say.
100% in the wrong, not me. So, Dark Post says, you always seem to be involved in some controversy. Yeah, and it's never my doing. You ever notice that now? There was a time when I would do stupid shit on stream. I would say stupid things, and there would be controversies that would be as a result of my direct actions. Now, I'm not even involved in it. I was offered a sponsorship. I didn't go actively look for it. I was offered a sponsorship. I said, okay, why not? I accepted it. Then people do negative shit to me, and I lose the sponsorship. It wasn't me, right? Same thing with this whole escort thing. I had nothing to do with it. It was 100% false. I never heard of these people before. They do all this negative shit to me, right? And then I'm supposed to just, like, what am I supposed to do? I just got to defend myself and say, no, it's not true. And then it's proven that it's not true. It's like, well, I had nothing to do with it, but I had to get all this negativity thrown my way for a month, but I had nothing to do with it, right? It's bullshit.
Now, another thing I'd like to point out is, this is, like I said earlier on in this video, super long ass video. Well, not really. It's a normal thing for me. is and for most of you guys, I'm sure, is his past is just coming back up on him. When he was high up on his little pedestal, he was able to sit there and piss on everybody and whatnot and be like, I'm Darkside Phil, I'll say whatever I want. And what are you guys really going to do? Yeah. But see, now that he's at a low point, a really low point, which is getting lower, like I said, he's already knee deep in the grave at this point. And where he really needs people's support, where he's really trying to reinvent himself and try to clean up, not really, he's just putting Axe body spray on. He's not really taking a bath or anything. He's trying to clean up his image, so to speak, and he's trying to give himself a fresh start. Oh no, you can't do that when you have the shitstorm back here that's like, no, you ain't done yet. See, you never squared that away yet. And since you didn't, and since you like to mock them, and you like to do this, that, and the third, that's how shit like this happens. And the funny thing is how is it that you're going to extend an olive branch, a truce, and then literally the next day you're talking shit about people again? What was the point of that truce? What was the point of your olive branch? Your olive branch wasn't shit. It didn't mean anything. And this kind of right here proves it. Because the running joke is, who broke the truce? Who was it that cast away the olive branch? Phil did it before anybody else did, in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? A lot of people felt that he was dishonest with that truce and the truth and the thing behind it. I mean, am I saying this is retaliation? I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that this right here is what happens when you don't handle your past well. This is what happens when you think you can shit on other people and not think they can't shit back. This is what it is. And I understand how people can feel bad for him. Like, damn, man, that's messed up, man. Like, you know, when's enough enough? I don't know when enough's going to be enough. I don't know. It's very much a war of attrition, but the problem is with that is Phil's losing. And he's been losing for a while. And he's going to continue to. He's going to continue to. Because he won't change. He doesn't want to. He doesn't see that how it could benefit him. Now, granted, he's always going to have haters. He's always going to have trolls. He's going to always have detractors. But he could try to take steps in the right direction to make himself a better person. Because he feels that he's not in the wrong, he doesn't need to do that. Oh, my past is my past and just let that be. Well, all right, then you're going to take everything that comes at you now. So when an older nemesis comes back on him and does something, he's sitting there like, I don't get it, man. What the fuck? What, why? But you know why. You know why. You know what I'm saying? Should bygones be bygones? Eventually. But the thing is with Phil is the hate that just keeps on hating. So, as I've said, a new generation of detractors will just come in and take and just continue the flow. It is what it is. It's what he perpetuates. It's what he breathes. As long as he can keep coming up there, calling people mentally ill, doing this, that, and the third, people are gonna slap back. If he slaps us, we're gonna slap him. It is what it is. So you can't do that and then say, no, don't hit me no more. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. And no one's saying that he should get on his hands and knees and beg for forgiveness and whatnot. That's not going to get him anywhere except for him getting ridiculed. But there were opportunities when this stuff could have been smoothed out years ago. You know, and he chose not to. He chose to slander. He chose to throw names at people. He chose to call people stuff and try to act like they were beneath him. And now look at him. Now when he really needs the most help, when he needs people to kind of lay off of him so he can try to start something new, now what? And now, since he's isolated himself, so to speak, on Twitch, now he's going to make it even harder for himself. Because now you can't go nowhere else. YouTube was the biggest thing. He couldn't go anywhere else. Now Twitch is the biggest thing. He can't go nowhere else. He already has... he's pretty much given up on YouTube and whatnot. He just turned it into an archive. The man... If DSP Gaming is an archive channel, then why not put the... why not go ahead and turn the comment section back on? What do you care? It's an archive. No, see, Phil's too sensitive for that. Phil's too self-conscious about that. So he won't do it. Hence the reason why he suffers now. DSP News.
It's fucking bullshit and I'm tired of it. I have nothing to do with any of this negative shit. I don't want to be involved with high school kids doing dramatic bullshit. I'm tired of it. I'm just done with it. I want nothing to fucking do with this.
And then you saying you're tired of it and you're done with it, that doesn't stop nothing. Sorry guys, this is a landscaper outside. But that doesn't mean that this stops. It is what it is. He's got to, sadly, Phil is the definition of someone who has to see this out to the end. Because he really has no choice. He has no other option. DSP News.
Stupid shit show anymore. I just want to be here on stream and play games with you guys and have fun. And I just, that's what I want to focus on, you know? It's such horse shit. Super Nintendo Chalmers tipped me $2, says California pizza is the best pizza. Do you agree? I've never had it, so I don't know.
And California pizza's alright. It's alright. It's alright. I can't say, I wouldn't say it's bad. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even say it's terrible. I'd say it's alright. It's okay. It's pretty good. Like so, I'll say that much. I've tried it.
Attorney of Forever says, I know you don't want to, but if you held up your end of the bargain, it sounds like they should send you the chair. Yeah, but what's the point? Why do I want their chair just to say, oh, here's a great chair. By the way, this company hates my guts and fucked me over. And by the way, they talk shit about me on their social media. So why would I, you know what I mean? I don't want that chair. I just want to be done with it.
And you see what I'm saying? Yet again, there's his immaturity. Hey, take the chair. If they send you the chair, if they send you the chair, take the chair and just go on with your day. Hey, Phil, where'd you get that chair? Oh, it's from this place right here. How's it feel, Phil? It's pretty good, actually. It's an alright chair. It's pretty comfortable and whatnot. Oh, are you sponsored by them, Phil? No, I'm not sponsored. But if you want to go and check it out, here's the name. Here's the name of the chair. Google it and you can find it. That's it. That's it. It's just that easy. But he won't do that. He's so butthurt that he won't do it.
And honestly, what I would really like is an apology for them for being so goddamn
And then he wants an apology like you're fucking special, man. They could say, now granted, they could easily say, hey, Phil, we're sorry that you have such a negative image around you and we don't want to be associated with it. That theoretically is an apology. He could take it at that, but he's going to consider that a slander, so that's not going to work.
Professional. Being a bunch of assholes. Because that's what it was.
Wow.
They were being unprofessional, they didn't do their job, and then they made me, like, suffer for it. They made me look like a villain. When in reality, I did nothing wrong. It was them that fucked up.
Wow.
Big Boy Dumper is mentioning a video that I'm not going to mention, so sorry, Big Boy Dumper. That whole thing's over with. I'm not talking about it anymore, so don't even mention it. I'm not trying to ignore your cheer, but I just don't want to bring up negativity and shit like that on the stream.
Oh.
So there. Ooh. Excuse me.
Jesus Christ, man.
No, Big Boy Dumper, dude, you're late. Big Boy Dumper shows up mad late. Now he wants me to talk about the escort controversy, and now he wants me to talk about the chair controversy. I'm not going through all that shit again. I already had it out. I'm sorry you're late. If you want to watch the videos later, you'll find out everything. I'm not going through all that again. I'm not doing it. I got a troll tip in regards to OPC, and I'm going to clear the air. They said, listen, you have a very negative reputation on the internet preceding you. OPC is not a large company. It makes sense that they wouldn't want that affiliated with their company. Okay, then. True or not, stop demonizing them for making a business decision. No. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. In fact...
Was that before or after you called them assholes and sissies? Just saying.
I'm going to be honest with you. People ask me all the time. They say, Phil, why don't you get sponsorship? Because so many streamers we know, so many YouTubers we know have sponsorship from gaming peripherals, chairs. What the fuck? Asshole.
I like to describe this to you, but he just doesn't see the guy, so...
Fucking piece of shit.
Shooting at somebody that's not even there. That's funny. Bye.
What a pain in my ass. Well, I guess I'm playing another game. But anyway, they say, you know, it's true. I agree with you. And people always say, why don't all these other gaming peripheral companies and things sponsor Phil when they sponsor everyone else? It's because, literally because, a group of obsessed assholes have created a 5-year legacy of slander against me, most of which isn't even based on truth. It's just slanderous shit about me that's not true. It may be based on a snippet of fact or something I said out of context, but most of it is not true at all, okay?
It doesn't, even if that was the case, what you said is what you said. And how that is, it's not even how it's presented. It's just what it is. It sounds bad, and it doesn't matter if they jumped to the conclusions and thought you were an anti-Semite, for example, or you're just a blatant racist or whatever it is. It doesn't sound good. And it's obvious that it's your voice and it's you saying it, and there's no manipulation outside of that. You take it for what it is. People have already made racist compilations of you. It's what you said. And they just bounce around with it. And to be honest with you, it just all sounds bad. Whether individually or placed together, it just sounds bad. It sounds really, really bad. It sounds like a terrible, disgusting human being who's not worth the air he's taking in. That's what it is. And that's why he's a piece of shit that's 36 years old and fucking has to beg for money online. While lying and saying that he's playing games that he enjoys. When in truth, there's a bunch of games that he doesn't like. The majority of the games that he plays, he doesn't like. The games that he does like, they don't get good views. And the games that were really profitable, he won't play them because they're too narrative based and he's afraid of his voice. He got what he got.
And a company looking on the internet might see that and say, well, I don't want to have him to be I don't want to sponsor him. I get that. The problem was this company, OPC, contacted me without doing any prior fucking research whatsoever, offered it to me, had me sign up for it, approved me for it. I'm approved for it. I got the welcome email and everything. Welcome to the program. Gave me the information on how to promote them. Took my information on my shipping address, asked me what chair I want, did all that already. Then when I finally came out publicly and said, I'm in this partnership, then they reneged on it. You can't do that. It's one thing if it was ahead of time, they realized it and said, okay, no, I already was in the partnership. I already did my half of the bargain.
Sleepy.
Then they reneged. That's not right. That's fucked up on their part, and technically it's illegal.
I'm not taking that.
That's the problem here. The problem was not that they didn't want me to represent their company. That's fine, but they should have known that before, number one, they ever even offered the fucking partnership to me in the first place, had me sign up for it, had me jump through the hoops, had me promote it, then turn around and say, oh, well, now we've decided we don't want you in the program. No, fuck you. You should have done your due diligence first and been professional. If anything, it just proves their company is incredibly unprofessional and don't deserve any kind of fucking recognition. Seriously.
Wow. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's I would say that that was a long one, but in truth, if you guys have been around here, 2 hours is kind of nothing. 2 hours really isn't much around here. So there you go. Like I said, whoever takes the blame in this, I guess everybody kind of, you could say that everybody has a stake in this or they have a bit of blame. But yet again, I have to kind of illustrate that how Phil handled this is terrible. And the repercussions that will reverberate from this will affect him. It will. Am I saying that Phil will never get a sponsorship again? No, I'm actually not saying that. Because there's always going to be a company out there that will take a risk and will try to exploit and spin Phil in such a way that where they can make it profitable for themselves, even if it is only for a little while and whatnot. You know what I mean? Because some people will sit there and be like, well, what? They sponsored Darkside Phil? Fuck that. I'm going to see if I can get myself a sponsorship with them. And I'm going to show them what it's really like. And that right there is a very great platform if you're willing, if you as a business are willing to take a risk. As for Phil himself, great. You're on Twitch and you've kind of already screwed yourself. Like I said, the situation in itself and how it started, it is what it is with that. But how you ended it, how you reacted to it, and how you lashed out, and how you basically made yourself look like a whimpering, crying baby is what's really going to cause people to step away from you. Thanks a lot. Well, not thanks a lot, but congratulations. The how you make your money, remember, that's his realm. This is his realm. This is how he makes his money. He shot himself in the foot and he's not even smart enough to realize it. Congratulations, Phil. Good job with that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. So it's so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really bad. Like, it's one of those situations where it doesn't matter. He wouldn't listen to me anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, this is GTG signing off in a broadcast. I need a nap. I'm going to take a nap. And then I'm going to wake up and watch King of Catfish. So I'm going to do that.